If you answer because I enjoy drawing, or I would draw if I was the only person on planet Earth anyway, it's just something that makes me calm, relaxes me if I'm drawing what I want to draw, then that's a good answer. That means you actually love the act of drawing. But a lot of people, maybe they like creating things. They like having a creation, or maybe they like talking to people on the internet, or they like sharing their artwork. But sometimes the actual act of drawing the picture isn't what they enjoy. It's actually posting it or sharing it or stuff like that. So that's interesting thing about. Another thing is like if it was to make a living. If you're drawing to make a living and that's all it is, you're probably not passionate about drawing. You're probably just drawing like, oh, I have this talent, so I'm going to do it. Like my older brother, he's a great artist, but he doesn't draw anymore. And I always wondered why. I was like, why do that? You're like wasting your talent. And that's something scary to fall into, is like, just because you have the talent doesn't mean you're passionate about it or have to like devote yourself to that talent. So if you're talented with something, you don't have to devote yourself to it. You need to do what you love doing. Something else you could ask yourself is, what do I want to draw? This is a big one because especially with YouTubers and stuff like that, they always draw things they don't want to draw because it gets views, it helps them with paying the bills, stuff like that. Or maybe they draw this because it's popular, something like, let's say for instance, you only draw for others, you only draw them things. It's not something you want to draw, so it's going to burn you out and you may not like it. Maybe you want to draw fan art. Maybe you don't want to draw fan art. Some people only want to draw like fan art things and they're like, does this make me not an artist? Because artists always draw like these like amazing photos, like the Mona Lisa or stuff, where they actually sit down and have these huge pieces, but the other people just want to draw fan art of their favorite show. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do what you're passionate about. And then maybe anime. Maybe you want to draw anime and other people are like, realism is actual art. Anime is not. And then you start questioning these things. Instead of questioning those things, just do what you love doing. That's what I've realized is you can't follow other things.
Something that
things that just do things because you're meant, like that everyone says you have to. You need to just do what you want to do. That's very important. And then sometimes you feel very stuck in realism. I that's what I felt at first. I felt like I had to do realism and that's all I could do because that's what an artist does. That's the only way I could make a full-time income. And I'm like, how could I ever do art full-time? And I was just so stressed out about it. And there's just, don't do that. It's not worth it. Even if you get a full-time job out of it, you have to try and find a job you enjoy. Even if you're working right now and you want to try and convert over to being an artist full-time, you need to find what you enjoy doing and try your very best to make that your job. Because honestly, if you love your job, the whole thing about you'll never work a day in your life. And it's true because you'll honestly will love what you do. But like I said, if you're not passionate, you're not going to love it. Another question to ask yourself is, can I stop drawing? That's a scary question to ask yourself. Like, you've drawn your entire life. Could you stop right now? And would you be okay with that? And that's something I always ask myself, because before I started this channel, I quit drawing for an entire year and started drawing only for this channel. Because honestly, to be honest with you guys, I started drawing thinking, oh, well, maybe people would want to see it and maybe that'll help me get views. That was what I was thinking. I've become more passionate with drawing after doing that, but when I started, I was not passionate at all. I love creating characters. I love drawing OCs, but certain things, of course, you're not as passionate about. And that's how artists are, and they don't ever want to talk about it. If you ever say, like, I've drawn my whole life and I can't stop drawing, it just feels like a waste, you're probably not that passionate. You're probably just scared. And there's nothing wrong with not having to draw all the time. Maybe have it as a hobby instead of your main thing. It's just do what you're passionate about. Try and think about what it is. Like, I'm very passionate about writing stories. I really want to write a story, and I can't do that full time right now. But that's what I really love doing. And one day I want to really do that. So it's important to remember what it is you're passionate about. And it's one thing to think about is, like, everyone's like, I have to use the skill for something. Well, you can use it for something if you want, but it doesn't have to be your main goal, and just do it whenever you want to do it. And like my older brother, he pretty much stopped drawing altogether, and there's nothing wrong with that. At first I was like, why would you do that? Another thing to ask yourself is drawing my passion? This one's scary as well. If your answer is something like, oh, it pays the bills, it has to be after all these years, it's not your passion, it's not. Whatever you think about that makes you happy, makes you want to do that thing, that's your passion. Even if it's something as silly as playing video games or something like that. People are like, well, your passion can't be playing video games. Yes, it can. If you're passionate about video games or the creation of video games, you're passionate about this and that, you can make anything into what you want to do or what your life goal is or how you're going to have a full-time job. You can do that. So people play video games on YouTube all the time as a full-time job. So don't feel scared or intimidated about what your passion really is. Think about what your true passion is, even if it seems like just a hobby. Another question is, should I strive to be a full-time artist? If you love it, you love being an artist, yes, totally. If you're thinking it's better than working for someone else and you just like your best option or whatever it is you want to do, then sure. If it's something you enjoy and it's a good opportunity for you, go for it. If you want to keep time to strive after what you're actually passionate about, that's important. Like, even if you have a job working for someone else, you need to keep time to strive after what you're passionate for. Have any of your free time, strive after what you're passionate for and just do your best at that. Surround yourself with people who support you. That is so important. I feel like there's so much negativity and you're so scared of losing all your friends and people that have actually reached out to you, and you're just scared of everything disappearing that you don't want to speak your mind. And it's just important to be true to yourself. And I'm sorry, this video probably seems really like random, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And in the bottom right there, you can see my art icon is by Camille on AntiX on Instagram. So please do go check them out. Their art is amazing. And I'll be posting this OC up on my Amino as well later on. I'm not sure exactly when. I want to draw more pictures. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do comment below and let me know your answers.
Watermelon. It provides hydration, vitamins, and, well, it's delicious. When it's time to refuel, make the right choice. It's surprising how the simplest things can be so good for you.
By 2050, there will be more plastic than fish in the oceans. There are 18 billion pounds of plastic waste entering our
Hey guys, today I'm going to be drawing your OCs. The first one here is another one from Myra Marty, and thank you so much. They have commissioned me a ton of times, and it really helps support me. Thank you so much. If anyone else wants to commission me, the link is down in the description. And their OC here is super interesting. I actually always do their OCs from a text description rather than normal reference photos and stuff like that. But they have a bio, so I'm going to read that for you. Their name is Nala Sarab. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Nala Sarab is a human turned android. Her birth name is Amelia Taylor. After an accident, it's in quotation marks, so it probably wasn't an accident, she became paralyzed, and in order to not be bedridden for the rest of her life, she became an android. Her choice was not well received by her father, who is a missionary. Fearing his anger, she convinced the doctor to hide her, and she changed her name. After her family left Absalom Station on another missionary trip, she spent her days working as a lab assistant. She still practiced her faith and frequently went to church. A young priest saw potential in her and started teaching her small spells given to them by their goddess, Sarenrae. I hopefully pronounced that properly. Eventually, she received information from her father that her father was returning to Absalom Station. Wanting to escape, she applied to work on the ship as a science officer. Can she outrun her father's wrath? So that's pretty interesting. I like that type of story where it's like they're on a certain place and it's like something as simple as like people being religious as something that's not accepting, because that's very common more people have trouble accepting things, and you grow up with that. And I don't know, I find it very interesting, and also like a more relatable, interesting story. And I really love that about this. Also, the whole thing about becoming an android, apparently they're high tech enough to be able to transform someone into an android, which that's a very interesting world building situation, because you're making your world high tech enough, but also keeping it relatable and real. And I wonder if they have airships, because I just imagine this world has airships for some reason. That's the first thing I think of, like pirate ships that can fly, things like that. It just fits this idea. I'm not sure if they do. I don't know why I got that idea reading this. Tell me what you guys think. She actually let me design her character's outfit a bit. She gave me some reference photos of like things she found online and stuff like that, or for things with colors. But she let me design an outfit, and then I showed her a sketch to see if she was okay with it, and she actually liked it. I wasn't sure exactly what to go with. I did make it more like a fantasy, yet sort of modernish take on fantasy. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I was going for. I had so much fun with this character, and drawing them was just a blast. I love drawing long braids and then having the robotic look. It was just so much fun to draw. I wasn't entirely sure how to do with like the cyborg like veins underneath her skin that's supposed to like look pink. That was so much fun to draw, and it was just a unique character overall. Next up here is May Magic up on my Amino. Let me see, they have a bio, so I'll read that for you first. Okay, so this is my OC May Magic. She is a fallen, which is there's no punctuation in this, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. She is a fallen, which is a species of demon in my story. She's carrying a very overprotective. She has a very tragic past. Her biological father was physically abusive and would beat her older brothers Bill and Tobias. Oh gosh, this is getting dark. He almost beat Tobias to death. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is very dark. One point, and would have if she hadn't gotten in the way of the whip. She has a scar from the ordeal that starts at her left hip and ends under her right breast. Her mate was also killed, but later is reincarnated. Wow, there's a lot of information here. That's very dark. But I was not expecting that. She has a group of friends, and they are actually a group that are meant to save the world. It says Arin, like with an N after R. I'm not sure if that's aren't or are. I think they are meant to save the world. That's very interesting. There's a lot of information here, and it's a little difficult to read, but I think I get it. She has a very, very bad father. I don't know, is he still alive? I think he is. Bad father. Hurts her brothers. She got in the way, got a scar, and then now her mate, which I'm guessing is her husband or boyfriend, whatever it is, I don't know, and they got reincarnated at some point, so they died, but
Liquid plumber? That's the world's grossest pie. As in it all goes. Ta-da! Yeah. Let's see this puppy do its thing. Unclop!
The DNP FNP program is working for me wonderfully. The teachers are all approachable, and they all went out of their way to make sure that the first week that I had everything that I needed to be successful, because the sky's the limit, and you have every opportunity here at Samuel Merritt because everyone is willing and able to help you with anything that you ask. They've been a great resource, and I don't think that you guys could choose a better school aside from Samuel Merritt.
Incarnated, so that's a lot. I'm sure that was a whole plot point. And then after that, she has a group of people that are meant to save the world. So that's a lot. That is a lot of story. I feel like that's very interesting. With drawing this character, as you can see on the right there, I think that's one of those doll makers where you put together a little doll to try and give someone an idea of what you want. At first, I thought her horns were headphones, so I actually drew out the headphones entirely, even sketched them and then inked them. I had headphones and cat ears on, or like, I don't know if this is cat ears or wolf ears. I went with like more of a cat look, but that's what I thought it was. It wasn't. I zoomed in and I realized it was actually like horns, and then I was like, that makes sense because it says here that she's a fallen and is a species of demon, so Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was headphones, but that's what I was going for at first. And then, of course, giant wings. I always struggle with wings, but I need the practice as much as I hate drawing wings and struggle with them. It's great to practice with them. I also, whenever drawing white hair, I'm never sure which color to shade with. I always end up shading it with a blue. I don't know why. I always like how that looks, so that's what I go for, but it never really looks like the original. This is Gotta Love Mochi on Instagram, or Nia or Naya on Amino. They're actually a moderator. And they purchased this with sparkles, which is something you get up on the Amino by doing like events. You get little sparkles, and if you save up so many, you can purchase a guaranteed spot in one of these drawings. But it takes a while to get done because there's so many requesting it. They have a bio for this character, so I'm going to read that for you. I love this character's design so much. Living in a world that is deeply pious means trouble for the bird species. Angel is a 20-year-old male that resides in the fifth kingdom, Animalia. For his entire life, he has put up and witnessed the discrimination of the bird species has faced. They are all seen as wannabe angels, and therefore the discrimination is justified. These are in quotation marks. Justified, like it's not really justified. They live in the worst conditions, have the worst jobs, and are treated terrible by others. The kingdom Animalia has designed special laws to keep the species down. One such law is that they must wear a bird mask whenever they're out in public. That's creepy. If not, they are subjected to a public whipping. Oh my goodness. How 2 stories of whippings and bird wings. How did that happen? But these are very different things. And because of Angel's name, Angel is this character. Angel is not his birth name, so maybe he chose that name. He is targeted more often than the others. He rebels as much as he can against society through non-violent protests, like not wearing his mask and etc. That's actually super interesting. I love this character so much. When I was reading that bio the first time, I was like, that's such a good idea. That is really a good idea, because I don't know, it gives you this vibe of a whole new world building where it's like there's so much new about it that you want to know more information. And you're not sure like, well, how certain things would work and stuff like that. So knowing that these birds and like religious people there find them as a bad thing because they think they're like somehow false angels or something like that, that makes sense. That could happen in real life if there were bird people. So it makes sense. And the fact that he changed his name or is taking on the name Angel to try and like fight back and like not wear his mask and stuff like that is really cool. It's such a cool idea, and I don't know, I love it. And I love his design. His design is so neat, and I was having so much fun with it. It's like almost like a not tracksuit as much as like a workout sweatsuit, I suppose. But it shows like some of his stomach, and that was just a very interesting design to me. I love that. It's like really original. I wouldn't have thought of it. And that's everything. If you want your OC drawn, just please comment it below, and don't worry about copy pasting and spamming me with your OCs. I actually want you guys to do that, so go ahead, and I will also try and post things on DeviantArt for anyone who wants to download the HD versions of these drawings. So like I said, make sure to comment me, and also on Instagram, you can tag me up there. I am Flying Pings. And on Amino is the same thing. You can get sparkles and whatnot. I'll put links to everything in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching.
Who could have known that the smallest changes could make the biggest impact? You did. And so did we. That's why Hills always starts with a pet's biology. So you're always a step ahead.
We all try to help each other, but sometimes the things we do end up causing more damage instead.
I'm not giving up on my brother, all right?
Hey guys, I'm finally getting back into OCs. It has been quite a long time since I've done this, so I'm excited to get back into it. I'm going to be trying to do it once a week again, so hopefully this goes well. The first one here is a commission from Draco Vision. Thank you so much for commissioning me. It really helps support me and I appreciate it so much. If anyone else wants to commission me, I'll put a link down in the description. And their character here, his name is Rose Sky, and they're so pretty and I was having so much fun trying to draw them. I drew them from a text description instead of a normal photo reference, which I've been doing pretty often actually with commissions, so it's really fun and trying to figure out how to put them into a picture when it was just a text description, so that's always fun. Let me read their bio. It's actually just a snippet of the full bio because the bio was a little too long for me to read it, so I just kind of snipped it out. Her name is Rose Sky. Her race is the Dragon Newt, which is essentially a half-dragon, half-human hybrid. She has a tomboyish personality, but enjoys very feminine clothes. Rose is very adventurous and loves the rush of combat. She attends balls and special events, but will be found most often traveling the world as a treasure hunter. Rose also has a power deep within her blood that she isn't aware of until she grows into an adult. That is in fact a very old eldritch power of the cosmos that her family wielded long ago, but has been dormant for generations. This power also awakens in Rose due to her more rebellious and adventurous spirit, and since there is no one alive to teach her how to wield or deal with this unknown power, she causes a lot of trouble at the most inconvenient of times. That's interesting. So it's like a power she can't really control. She doesn't know what it is because no one's there to teach her, and she has to try to figure it out herself. They wanted me to draw her first in this like sort of ball gown outfit and try and make her look, well, more like royal, I guess, royal, majestic, stuff like that. So that's what I was going for. The biggest struggle with me always is whenever I have to draw wings, like dragon wings or angel wings. Those are a major struggle for me because I regularly draw them, and especially when they're so big. But it was fun because it was something different, and I rarely do that. They also have their legs. I can't think of the exact word for the legs right now. You know, the ones that like bend backwards, like animal legs. I don't remember the name. But those, I have actually done those quite a few times because normally commissions, sometimes they're like animal type characters, or one was actually just an animal and I draw those types of legs, but I rarely draw them on like females or animal human hybrids, if that makes sense. And they also wanted the legs to look like they have like high heels with like the talons, and that I thought was super original and interesting. I've never seen that before, so I was like super stoked and super excited to try drawing that because it'd be interesting her actually wearing high heels, because her feet are something else. She already has high heels without wearing any shoes at all. That would look really weird, I think. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Lots of purple colors. I realized after drawing all these characters that lots of purples and pinks this time. Next up is Wingless Angel up on my Amino, and this character is absolutely adorable. Let me read their bio for you, if I can get it up on my phone. Okay, their name is Miyuki. She is a shy and introverted girl of a species of genetically modified humans with horns. She was one of the few cases of a child that's horns never grew. They remained the size of when she was an infant, even into her teenage years, despite being often judged for first glance as a complete weakling due to her deformity. She is kind, spirited, and understanding with those types of people. She's 16 years of age. She struggles with her attraction to females and sensing that she will grow out of it and have a perfect husband and child. She's pretty clueless and prone to being taken advantage of. Relatable. But she learns quickly and won't make the same mistakes twice. That's so sweet. That's cute. I just really liked this character. Whenever I was drawing them, I was in love with their character design. I am a sucker for two different hair colors, like side by side like that, like cut very bluntly down the middle. I just love that in characters. I think it's so beautiful and so interesting. And the collar she has, the whole brown with pink, I think those colors go together so well. And I just am in love with it, and I had a lot of fun. I also realized her outfit reminded me a lot of Starfire's outfit from Teen Titans, if anyone remembers. I mean, there's now Teen Titans Go, but I mean, like I'm thinking of the old original Teen Titans show. And that's what I was thinking of when I was drawing this. It reminded me of her. So that's what I was thinking of when I was thinking of making it metallic at the top. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be metallic at the top. Hopefully. She sent me two picture references. One was, I think, a commission she had of this character where it did look metallic at the top, so I was kind of going for both. I think it's supposed to be, but I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't entirely sure about posing with this character. Based on the information, she seems like she's more calm and sweet, but then I did not have her smiling because she wasn't smiling in this reference picture, but maybe a smile would have suited her personality more. I'm not sure. Normally that's one of the biggest things I struggle with when doing OCs. Whenever I'm drawing OCs, I always struggle with the personalities and figuring out the posing that matches their character to a T. And that's always what I'm struggling with and wondering, did I do that right? I don't know. Coloring on this one was also interesting because both of the picture references, one was very, very vibrantly pink, like the one you see on the right there, and then another one was very, very pale pink. So I wasn't sure which one I should go with, so I kind of like went more with the vibrant because, as you guys know, I'm always more vibrant for some reason. Everything's always like real red and in your face with these colors. Next up here is Sushimi's OC, and if you guys don't know, they're actually a leader up on my Mino. They purchased this OC with the sparkles you can save up with on my Mino fan club. So if you guys are interested, I'll put a link to that also down in the comments and in the description. And their OC here is Mimi, and it's very, very pink. Everything here has been very pink, but their bio's kind of long, so I should probably hurry. Mimi is a very caring person. She has a younger sister, and her name is Melody. Mimi always loved her and promised to keep her safe for her parents. Their parents separated, and both Mimi and Melody had nowhere to go since both of their parents couldn't take care of them by themselves. They were later sent to an orphanage where they could stay until they were wanted. Oh, that's sad. Until they were wanted. That's so sad. It's like, but their parents are there. Sadly, some kids had to move away to a different room with people somewhat of their age. And Melody was only 1. Meanwhile, Mimi was 8. Before they were adopted by new parents, Melody went missing. Everyone assumed it was a kidnapping. Mimi fears that it will happen one day, and it sadly came true. She was then adopted by a woman that already had a child. The other child looked similar to like Melody. Oh, that's creepy. Mimi was still upset about the loss of her sister, and whenever she sees her new sister, she will always see Melody and think she had come back. That's creepy. I thought that was going to go a very creepy route. I thought it was going to be like, oh, well, it actually was Melody, but they show up to this place with this woman, and there's a girl that already looks like Melody, but slightly different, maybe a little off. It's like going to be one of those horror things where it's like, what is this girl doing with these kids she's adopting? That's what I was thinking it was going to do. I don't know if that is what happens, but it just feels like it's going that horror creepy route, which would be really weird for a character that's so pink and so vibrant and so cute. Though I don't know, the contrast could be interesting, but that's always the first thing I think. Why is it my brain always goes to horror stories? I don't know why. That's just every time I read something, I'm like, man, that could be scary. But it's probably, so if you want to have skip the whole process and get a guaranteed drawing, you can commission me, or you can join me up on the Mino and join the fan club and save up sparkles, and you're guaranteed one then. But commissions, you can actually choose what you get and whatnot. So it's pretty much different ways of doing it. It's kind of confusing. I'm so sorry about that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Today I wanted to be trying this art challenge that I've seen a lot of other YouTubers and Instagram people doing. It's where you try and turn social media websites into people, which sounded super fun because I love the things where people turn food into people and stuff like that. So I was like, why not I try it for once, because I've never really tried it. I've never tried turning food into people or anything like that. So I'm going to be trying to turn social media websites or apps into people. The first one here is Facebook, and the first thing I think when I think Facebook is normally an older audience. The people on Facebook are normally older and more, I guess, mature. Well, it depends which older person you're talking to, but it's more of a mature of a website, I suppose. So I'm thinking an older person, of course, but I want them to be serious, like an anime character that's maybe like wearing a suit and is more of a businessman. That sort of thing is the first thing I think when I think Facebook. I don't know if you guys think the same thing. You guys will have to let me know what you normally think when you think apps and what you could imagine they would be. I'm going to do 3 today, 3 different apps, and turn them into people, so it's going to be interesting. The first thing I did is I was like, normally from what I've seen online, people always made Facebook or any of the social media websites, they turn them into a character by making the hair color the main color of the website. So blue's Facebook, so they would make the hair on the character blue. But I thought it would be more fun and maybe a little different to make the like second color, which is white on the icon, the hair color, and then make the suit blue. So the majority of the character's blue, but the hair is white. I thought that would be a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea. It's probably not, but that's what I was wanting to go for. And I also wanted to give them more of like a tan skin and stuff like that, because I thought that like contrasted with the white hair pretty well. It gave you that whole Xehanort sort of vibe going on, because like I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, and it's the first thing I think of whenever I see the tan skin and the like super white hair. It's like the Xehanort. The villains in the game all have that sort of hair color going on, and I don't know, that's always the first thing I think of. But I also wanted to give them, I don't know why I gave them a necklace or like a choker. I don't know, I have this weakness where every time I'm drawing a character, I feel the need to add a necklace or a choker. I don't know why. I have no idea. I always think whenever I add one, I'm like, oh, now the neck looks okay. But if it's without it, I'm like, oh, the neck looks awkward. It looks weird. So then I add a choker and I'm like, okay, now it's all right. Which, I don't know why that is. I don't know. Like, some people have always related to me where like they're sketching and they're like, I like the sketch, but then you ink it and you're like, I don't like it anymore. And that happens to me a lot. Like sketching, I feel like probably because you do like more lines over and over again until you get the look right. So it always looks better than the inking for me, or sometimes anyway. And that's the biggest challenge. And with them here, I also wanted to give them glasses, because I thought that like really was the cherry on top when you do a sophisticated sort of serious looking person, is like glasses always makes them look way more serious. Not sure why that is. Next up, I'm starting to do Instagram, which is going to be Facebook's daughter. I know you guys are like, wait a second, what? You're making families now? Well, yes, I am making families now. Instagram is Facebook, the old Instagram icon they had. I think, I'm not sure if it was the original or if it was, I think it may have been the original icon. I remember back when they had it, and then when they changed it, everyone was so angry. I'm not sure why. I think the biggest reason people are angry with the changes is because they just don't like change. They like things to stay the same. Plus, of course, the old icons had more detail, and everyone's like, oh, I love those. But they probably didn't stand out as well on like merchandise or look as sleek for the companies. So that's probably why they changed them to more simple icons and things like that. So I can understand. I could totally understand, but everyone always misses I can speak, I'm so sorry. Misses the old Polaroid icon, which I understand. It looks really cool. I like it. So I had fun adding it to her to like make her look like Instagram. I also wanted to make the rainbow. It's not really a rainbow. It's more like a yellow to a purple color behind the icon, and try and make that her sweater there. And I want to give her a big comfy sweater, because the first thing I was thinking is like she should be like a younger character, because, well, when I think Instagram, I normally think of a younger audience. I know YouTube has babies watching it, of course, and stuff like that, so you would think that would be a young audience, but I'm thinking of like of people who actually have accounts, not just babies watching on someone else's account. So I'm thinking a more young audience, plus it's I guess a more newer website, so I don't know. I feel like young matched Instagram. I'm not sure why, I felt like that was the way to go, so I made her young. And I also wanted to make her more of like a, I don't know, more spunky, I suppose, because when I think Instagram, I think memes, I think jokes, I think, I don't know, it's not very serious. It used to be more of like a serious like place to post like pictures or like photography, but now it's turned into more of like 80% memes and like 20% drama. I don't know. I mean, you see a lot of things on Instagram, but memes is probably the majority. So I was going with a more playful, spunky character for that. Next up, we're doing YouTube. YouTube, I wanted to make a little bit older. I wasn't sure, but I thought older, like, yeah, that's the first thing I think. I don't think, oh, YouTube's young. That's not the first thing I think, so I'd like, just make them older. Make like all the characters older, unless I really specifically think they should be young, which is what I thought for Instagram, so I went with that. So for her character, I wanted to try and make her, of course, spunky again, but this time it was more of a creative. I wanted to make her more of a creative person, make her look like she was more outgoing and more like expressive, I suppose. Not super expressive. I guess I didn't give her like things that are normally expressive, like more of a dyed hair color, I suppose. More fancy and has like dresses, stuff like that. I think that's pretty common with women villains. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's pretty common, like from the shows I've seen anyway. I'm not sure if it's in every show, so this could be like completely off, but that's what I was going for. So I went with a pose that made her look more like she was like fancy, maybe wearing high heels, stuff like that. So that's what the first thing I did. Next thing I had to do was the hard part. I had to figure out how to design her and how to dress her up. So I wasn't sure how to go about that. I did know what like the style was gonna be, but I didn't know anything about what to do with outfit. So the first thing I thought was, I don't know, let's put chains and like jewelry stuff around it because that makes her look even more fancy. But then I realized I'm going a little overboard with the whole fancy thing, and now she looks incredibly fancy. But I guess she still looks like a villain, sorta. You guys have let me know if I did a decent job at this, if she looks like the villain Aphmau version, or if she just looks like Aphmau from some sort of fan fiction, because that's sort of what it's starting to look like, actually, now that I think about it. But that was what I was going for. Also, as you can tell here, she has like this like little top. It's like a tube top, but it's like a crop top as well. I don't know how to explain what that is. It's like a band around her. And that was the first thing I did. At first I wasn't sure. I wanted it to cut off there and not have any straps, but I wasn't sure how long I wanted it to be. But then once I put the chains around her stomach, I thought it looked best to let her stomach be out, because then you can see the chains better and it makes, I don't know, it makes more sense and it's less stuck all together, because when I start putting clothes on top of clothes, it starts looking difficult. You can't tell what's clothes and what isn't, if that makes sense. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't too confusing. Also, with this hair, as you could tell, the hairstyle, I wasn't sure if I wanted it to be short hair or long hair. So the first thing I was thinking was I wanted to make it short hair to contrast her, but then I was like, it's not gonna look like Aphmau with short hair. Aphmau's like always had long hair, so I'm like, I have to go with long hair. Short hair is not going to work. So I kind of decided to add a ponytail to fit with that, because I had the short hair design and I was like, I gotta add some hair or it's not going to look like Aphmau. So that's why now she has a ponytail and she's like pulling it back with her hair, her hand there, which I tried my best with this pose. I had to look at a couple references because I've never done this type of pose where her arms like up and back like that. So that was pretty challenging, but I tried my best, hoping it doesn't look terrible. And after doing the hair, I quickly realized that I wasn't sure about coloring the hair, because obviously Aphmau has like a dark black hair, but in like the thumbnails to some of the Aphmau videos, I've noticed that she has like a purple tint on the hair and purple shines and stuff like that. Because whenever you think Aphmau, normally you think purple, because that's like her main color. Obviously she loves purple, and purple is just like her theme, and she always has purple outfits and stuff like that. So when I saw in the thumbnail that she had like purple like shading and stuff in her hair, I thought that would be pretty cool. So I went with like an ombre almost, of like where it's darker, but then I started going into purple. And then in the end, it kind of all started turning purple. It never really stayed one color. So it looks more purple and more of a bluish color than black. But you can still tell it's Aphmau's hair, I think, because it's so purple and she's always purple. So that's what I was going for. I also wasn't sure about adding makeup. I did add some purple like eyeshadow and some makeup there, because I still wanted to keep the whole fancy, classy sort of look going on. So that's what I was going for. But the hardest part for sure was the outfit. I had no idea what to do with that. How do I make an evil Aphmau outfit? And she's had so many different outfits, so I was like, I don't know. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to go a fantasy route with like her diaries sort of show sort of fantasy thing, or if I wanted to go more like modern, like My Street, and give her like a very modern look. But I wasn't sure, so I just went with this very interesting uniform here. It almost looks like we're going My Hero Academia with this, where it looks like a super villain uniform. But you know, I wanted to go with whatever I thought looked cool at the moment, and I guess I went a little overboard. You can't really tell whether or not this is fantasy or modern. It looks like a mix of both. It's not really in one place, because I wasn't sure, like, if she was a villain, would like it'd be better to go with a fantasy route, which she's done the fantasy route, so that would have worked. But if I would have gone with the modern, that would have been fine too, because My Street and all that, and I guess My Street's turned into quite a bit of a fantasy thing as well. At first it was more just 100% modern, but now it's turned into more of a fantasy, crazy sort of thing as well. So I mean, I guess it works either way. I wasn't sure though. I was so confused by that, and as you can tell now, we're working on Evil Corgi. I really wanted to add an evil corgi. As soon as I thought of it, I was like, a corgi with glowing red eyes. I have to add it because it's just so perfect for this, because Aphmau and corgis and they're supposed to be evil, so glowing red eyes, of course. It's just, anyone would have chosen that, right? It's totally normal. I can't look at it. It looks like a little hot dog. It's distracting me just looking at it at all. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really want to do this challenge. I know it's kind of random, but I wanted to do some more Aphmau fan art for a while now. So I was super excited when I thought of this, like, oh, let's do them as villains, because I've already drawn like well, not all the characters, obviously. There's tons of characters. So I should honestly go back and draw some more characters, some of the newer characters too, and stuff like that, because I haven't drawn any of them. I've only drawn like the main cast from a while ago. And I drew like shipping pictures and stuff like that. I drew lots of things, some gender bends. I swear. Hey guys, today I'm going to be drawing more of the OCs. This first OC here is from Kit in Sorrows, who commissioned me. Thank you so much for commissioning me. It really is helping me out. And for anyone who wants to also commission me to skip the whole random selection process, the link is in the description. This OC of theirs is actually part of a webtoon they made, which is really cool. I read a few chapters and it's really interesting. I want to read more of it. And they gave me this little thing to read to you guys. Let me read it. It's kind of like a bio. Surviving the zombie apocalypse is hard work, and sometimes you just can't get out without a few scratches. Unfortunately for Sebastian, which is this character, he's immortal, just not in the way that he thought. Check out How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse on Webtoons. Discover to read more. And the link to that is going to be in the description. At the very top, I'm going to put a link to the Webtoons so you guys can go check it out. And that is super exciting. I never drew a Webtoons character before, so I was hyped to do this. And plus, their character is absolutely adorable. Of course, everyone's first thought is, it reminds me of Sans. But that's because it's a skeleton. But I rarely draw skeletons. Last time I drew a skeleton was Sans. That was the last time I tried drawing one, so it's pretty challenging for me. I don't practice skeletons at all, ever. I only ever practice skeletons with, flesh on them like humans, but this is the first. The character is absolutely adorable. I love their personality for what I did read of the comics so far. Their personality is just, oh my goodness, so cute. And you guys really need to go check it out and let them know what you think, because I think it's really cool. Making a webtoon, I would love to do that someday. It's so inspiring to me. I want to do something like that because they did it. They're doing well. They have quite a few views, and it's so interesting to me. I think that's really neat. I don't know why. I've never even knew webtoon was a thing, really. I've heard people making comics online, but I didn't know webtoon was a thing, and I was looking around the website, and it's really neat. But this character is adorable. I love the biggest thing I love about them is how they only have the gloves and the boots, and those contrast so much to everything else on the body. All the body's the same color. It's all like a skeleton, but then they have these big gloves and these big boots, and it just looks so cute to me. I don't know why. I love that. I don't know if they're supposed to be looking cute, but they did say the person was squishy and cuddly, so that's what I'm going for. But I don't know. I had so much fun with this. It took me a while to get it done. I hope they didn't mind the wait. But they did say they liked it, so I was super excited about that, though. I hope they like the finished product. I really hope you do, because oh my goodness, it took me forever to figure out how to do the call. Supposedly had the ability to travel across multiple solar systems, and after a few small test runs, it was deemed safe, and the volunteered to be the first one to attempt to travel to another solar system. So he set out to explore the universe, one of the most trusted butlers coming along with him. I would not trust just a butler and a guy on a spaceship. The spaceship was never supposed to land anywhere. They were just supposed to fly into another solar system and then fly back. But something went wrong, and the spaceship ended up crashing into a mysterious planet, which was, by chance, the one planet in the solar system that had living beings. That also happened to have the similar climate to this planet. So I don't know if I cut off their bio because it was probably longer, but that sounds pretty interesting so far. I'm not sure why they'd send a spaceship out with only 2 people on it. You think they'd have an entire crew? Maybe they did. Maybe I just read it wrong. Maybe I'm not paying attention. They probably had a crew along with the prince, I think. I'm not sure if he's the prince or not. Yeah, he is. I think I said it was the 4th. Yeah, he is the 4th youngest prince of the country of Deprezit, pronounced Derpre Testate. I can't pronounce these names. Guys, you guys are gonna go check out their amino and check out this character's bio and let me know what you guys think. I'm sure the whole bio is in there, and it's a very interesting idea. I love the space uniform. I just now realized I made this character look entirely too gloomy. The original drawing has him smiling, and he looks, oh, I'm happy, and then mine looks like, oh, I'm depressed, and I'm so angry right now. But I don't know how that happened in between there, because he doesn't have the right facial expression. I probably should have gone for the facial expression they used. I normally do that. I normally go for the facial expression they used, but I don't know why it came out that way. It was supposed to look normal, not like he's angry. It just, I'm sorry. Plus, using so many pink colors, it's probably hard to look at the way I drew him. Next up here is Tyr on Amino, and their OC here, they have a little bio, so I'm going to read it for you. My OC's name is Q. He is often bullied for his illness he has, which causes him to cough out blood a lot. Oh goodness, that's All Might. He is also neglected by his family because of being a hybrid of a human and a fox. He is also not very talkative, making him a bigger target for bullies. He tries to get through it by writing stories, which he enjoys doing. That's sweet, and I love his character design. The thing I really love about Q, that's a cute name, Q. I like it. It's so adorable. The thing I love about his character design is that it's super mismatched. Like, everything's very mixed. Like when you're going to put together an outfit and you're like, I want it to match. It's not exactly what I see in this character. This character looks like patchwork almost. Like where they have that thing on the side of their shoulder that looks kind of like a patch. And then they also have the ear that's mixed matched from the other ear. And then they have the eyes that are mixed matched. And then I don't know. It's very interesting to me. A very interesting design where everything is very mixed and different. And everything you look on the character is very what you wanted to expect. Like, for instance, if you just saw their head, you would not expect them to be wearing a sweater that said cutie on it. That's something I want to expect. I also wanted to expect them to wear those high-up pants that were like dress pants almost. That's like things I would never expect the character to wear altogether, and that's what really stood out to me was how uniquely mixed this character was with their design. So adorable. And for their bio, all it says pretty much is that he gets bullied a lot and because he has an illness. And as you could tell on the original, he had a little blood coming out of his mouth because apparently he coughs it up a lot. And I think I made it a little too obvious. Like in the original, I almost didn't notice the blood was there. But then in mine, it's a little too obvious. I probably should have made it a little more subtle like they did. But I also went a little overboard with the soft colors and made it very, very bright looking. I do that a lot. I'm sorry guys, but I love how that looked whenever I color drawings. I love adding lots of color and lots of soft colors, and then I mix it together with the line art a little too much to the point it starts fading together. But I can't help myself. That's just how I love drawing. I love drawing with those bright colors, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get past that, because I always say, oh man, I want to get past that and color more normally, but I can't do it. I can't. But I really do love the design. Every time I look over at it, I really do love it. I realized I didn't make the hair curly enough. I think they were going for more of a curly look. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh, it's not curly, it's just the lines. But now I'm looking at it again, I'm thinking, no, it is curly. The lines are what's trying to emphasize the curls, and I think I missed on that a bit. But I try my best redrawing your guys' characters. If you guys want a character drawn, make sure to check out the description for all the information on how to get your character drawn. If you want to skip the whole random selection process, all you have to do is commission me, and that really helps me out so much. So if you want the information on that, it's in the description. And don't forget to check out their webtoon. Their webtoon is absolutely incredible. I put the link to that in the description as well. Everything is in the description. That's what I keep saying. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hey guys, I'm sorry for being away for so long. Oh my goodness, I know I keep saying this, but this time I'm serious. I'm gonna get on a good schedule. I'm gonna keep to it. It has just been so crazy in real life with everything that's going on, and I still want to show you guys the new house. And I just got a puppy because I felt kind of unsafe walking alone at night and everything like that. So I was super excited about getting a puppy, and I'll share that with you guys later. But anyway, I started to do the global profile on Amino. If you guys don't know, Amino is the place where we have that social site, but the global profile is the place where you actually upload something like a video, and they could be up to like 2 minutes. And so they're kind of short, interesting, like more, I don't know, short videos, but I'm not sure what to do yet. So if you guys have any ideas, please do let me know, because I have no idea what to do. If I should do vlogs, if I should do more art challenges, if I should do sketches and stuff like that. That would be like super fun. So I'm excited about that. So please do follow me up there. I'll post a link down in the comments and in the description, and I'm super excited about that. But anyway, this drawing I'm doing today is actually something I was going to do for like an adoptable OC, and I am going to do more sketches of her before actually releasing her, because, well, as you can probably tell, the resolution is very like small. It's not what it was supposed to be. I drew this late at night, and for some reason I made the resolution real small, and it's very pixelated. I don't know why I did that, because I spent quite a long time on the drawing, but I'm not sure why I did that. It's so weird. But anyway, it's a small resolution drawing, but I had so much fun with it. Today I was going to answer a couple questions you guys had, so I should get into that before it's too late. What is one thing you wish you could do in your art world, such as a different style or coloring style? I wish I could do a more realistic anime style, which is like something that I see on DeviantArt I really love. Also, what advice do you give to anyone trying to start on a YouTube channel for art? I am, but I'm not doing so well. That's a tough one. YouTube is pretty finicky. When I started with gaming, and I did stuff like that, and then I switched to art, so it's kind of hard for me to know how to answer that question. I think fan art would be good, because that helped me a lot. Next one here. How do you finish a drawing or painting without getting bored of it and just stopping working on it? This happens to me quite often. I'm not sure, because for me, I do drawings in order to normally get videos out, or I do drawings for a purpose, like I'm doing it for an adoptable or stuff like that. I rarely do original artwork that's just like me drawing something that's like just of an original piece, which I used to do more often. I haven't done that in a long time, so I haven't really experienced this in a while. Normally I just like give myself, I have to draw this today, so I have no choice but to get it done. Next up here is, will you ever draw your selfies again? I've asked that a lot. LOL. And yes, I would love to do this. I did make videos with him a while ago for like a Roblox video. We like played it like when I had my channel originally was gaming, and now it's art. So he hasn't been in a video for a very, very long time, but that would be really cool. Next one here. Have you ever tried animating? Yes, I did. I bought Anime Studio, and I was going to try animating, but it was such a big learning curve to get used to animating on there, so I kind of just gave up. Next one here is how do you practice to study anatomy? Just curious, because your anatomy is great. Oh, thank you. And I practiced by pretty much seeing how it looks. Like if you look at either real models or look at your own hands, stuff like that. Or if you like search up anime pictures to see how they draw the anatomy, like, because anime eyes don't look like real eyes, so you have to get an idea of how you want to do that. And I just looked online, found how people drew them, and found what I really liked, and then I tried to replicate that sort of pose, not the pose as much as like to replicate the say if they drew an arm, how I really liked how they drew that arm. I tried to replicate that arm until I figured out how they did it and was able to do it myself. Next one here. Have you ever made any really good friends through your art? Yes, I have, because I met my fiance through my art, and I've also met other friends through my artwork. And I feel like that's mostly because I like him on YouTube, and then people come to see me and they're like, hey, I like your artwork, and that's usually opens up a lot of doors for me to meet people, because I'm kind of shy and I'm not great at going out and meeting new people. So if they come say hi to me, it's a lot easier for me to meet people, and I'm like, that's really great. And I did meet my fiance through it. I met him ages ago though on like I said, Roblox. That was where I started my online adventures when I was very young, and that's where he started as well. So that's where we met each other, and it's a very weird story, actually. Next up here, do you have a music playlist for when you're drawing? Yes and no. I kind of just repeat the song I really like at the moment, which is not really a playlist, but I do love Greta Van Fleet right now. They're amazing. And if not that, I'm usually watching it like a TV show. So this is like a Q&A kind of thing. Okay. Do you plan on trying to do animation memes? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I've always thought that they were cool and interesting, but I don't know if I'd be good at it. Where do you go if you need inspiration? I love taking long walks. That helps. What did you plan on doing before YouTube? Was there another job you wanted to do? And no, YouTube... Well, yes, actually. YouTube was pretty early on, like when I was a minor. But then I also drew when I was a minor and like started doing commissions. So that probably would have been it. And do you love me? Yes, I do. And that is everything for today. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. And please do follow me on the Global Profile on Amino. I'll be posting more videos there soon. And I really appreciate you guys still watching my videos, even though I am slacking and I'm trying my very best to get back on a good schedule. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the weird schedule. We're going to be doing confessions today. If you guys want to input one of your confessions, all you have to do is write me on my Amino, which link will be in the comments and in the description as well. And you just have to send me a note on there, and then I will get it and choose random confessions for the videos that I think are interesting. And these confessions are not my opinion. These are your guys' opinions. I'm just not going to say who's who and not give any names. Okay, so the first confession here says, my confession is that I constantly worry that my art will never get better. Sometimes I even feel that though I have gone backwards in progress, oh no, and that I am getting worse at art. I know that practice makes perfect, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed because I have trouble creating the image in my head, and it seems that I will never be able to do so. Okay, well, this is interesting because I felt that way before, where I felt like my art's just getting worse, and I feel like a lot that goes into that is normally like time you put into things. Like sometimes I would lose the inspiration I normally would have to want to put lots of time into something and sit down and look at lots of references and get used to things, and then my style would change and stuff like that. So I don't know, sometimes I still today look back at some of my old art and think I like that style better. I feel like that's pretty common. Make sure you guys comment and let me know what you think about these things and give these people some tips, because I don't always have the answer to anything. The next one here is, okay, so my confession is that I kind of don't like using the line tool. I do appreciate how useful it is, but for some reason it feels weird for me. Like if I need to make some kind of pole or sword, of course I would use a line tool for that straight edge, but when I do use it, I kind of feel like I'm not doing any work. I have no idea if it's just me or what, but using the line tool feels weird to draw with digitally. Oh, this one, I guess it feels like they're cheating because the line tool is something you can't do in real life, but you can technically do a line tool in real life, and it's honestly pretty dang easy. They use rollers and stuff like that you can make straight lines with, so it's not really cheating, and you can go ahead and use it. I used to use the line tool for my entire drawings back when I was younger because I didn't know there was any other way of doing it, and I didn't have a tablet, so I used the line tool and made little tiny lines to draw circles and stuff like that, and that's how I used to draw. Next one here is my art confession is that I hate criticism. I would go into a chat and ask for anatomy critique, and they would go into something completely different. And after I started feeling bad about my art, sorry if that sounds selfish or anything, for example, I put my drawing on my own species once and I said roast my art, aka critique. No, roast my art doesn't mean critique. That's not what that means. And they went off saying stuff like, the eye looks like an avocado. Okay, And that made me feel really bad at the time. Oh, though now I think it's funny. Well, that's good. But no, don't say roast my art if you want to critique. That's not a critique. Roasting your art means they're going to make fun of it. Roasting is like where people like do it in like a fun sort of way where they don't actually mean it. They're just joking around, and they're going to say things that sound mean about your artwork. And that's what roasting is. Critiquing is different. That's more like a helping you improve sort of thing. So don't use roast my art as something for critiquing. That's very different. But then I understand if you're wanting a critique on something and then they critique something else, that can be hurtful. And what's really important is whenever you're critiquing someone's work is to also point out the good in something and not just the bad. Okay, next one here. My art confession. Whenever I see a beginner's art, I can't help but cringe. I know that they are still learning, and everyone's art is usually pretty bad when they're just starting at art. But still, a lot of it can be pretty terrible. And I know that a lot of them are young and are probably proud of themselves for making the art. So I don't usually try giving them any tips in case it makes them feel bad. I don't see a lot of people talk about this in the art community, so I'm not sure if it's just me or if people just choose not to talk about it. Well, one thing is that just because someone's art is beginner doesn't mean they're young. People can start at art at any age and they're all going to start at the same place. Just because you're older doesn't mean your art's going to suddenly start 100 times better. People have that misconception where if someone's older, suddenly their art is going to start at a better place than if they started when they were 12. That's not true at all. It's pretty much how long you've been drawing. And the thing is that I never cringe at beginner art. I'm sure I look at it and think, oh, well, that's cute. That's funny. Like, oh, it's not funny, but it's adorable. That's how I see it. Like, it's a cute sort of, I'm excited to see them starting. Like, I get super hyped when someone starts drawing work because you have to see the progress they're making rather than the progress compared to other people. Compare them to themselves. That person before never drew anything, and that's the first time they drew that. So that's super exciting for them and huge progress for them. It may not be progress for someone else, but it's progress for them, and that's the only thing that matters, is that they're comparing themselves to themselves and they're working forward, and that's what's cool. Like, for instance, if I had a kid and they came up to me with a drawing they drew, I would be so excited about their progress because they're moving forward. I'm not going to tell the kid their art stinks just because they're a kid and they're new at art. That's just not how I would see it. Next up here, artist confession. It drives me up the wall when I see people put so much effort into a drawing and then there is one or two details that is blindingly obvious that they are wrong. Like a backwards hand, or the anatomy is so wonky that it looks like limbs were broken. It especially gets to me because I want to point out the issues that help them, but I also don't want to hurt their feelings and make them feel like they failed. I usually end up not saying much at all or shrugging and saying, well, I'm not an art teacher, so I can't teach you, but I want to be able to do much more for them. Well, if someone's asking for your opinion, that's the thing, is that they want you to tell them what you really think. But the best way to go about that, not to hurt their feelings, is to point out the good things. You said they put lots of details into it. So I would just say, oh my goodness, you put so much detail into this. It looks amazing with the coloring and all that, but this hand is backwards. See what I mean? Don't do it in a way that's going to hurt their feelings, but if they want your critique and they want to move forward, they really do want your opinion. Okay, next up here, oh my goodness, this is long. Adoptables. I think it's crazy how artists get mad when they sell one and then... What? When they sell one and then either try to take it back or get mad the person's lack of usage for the characters. People do that? Or telling them they can't resell the character. If you sell anything, you are giving up all rights to ownership of that thing. You no longer own the character, and the person who possesses can do what they please with it. If I go to Walmart and buy a tablet, the manager can't just come to me telling me I have to give the tablet back because I haven't been using it the way they want me to use it. Or if I choose to sell my tablet to a friend, they can't swoop in and tell me no. They sold it to me. It is now mine and no longer an item under their supervision. This applies for anything and everything in the marketing world. I agree to this because I could not imagine wanting to sell something and then keeping rights to it after selling it. Like, it seems like you're ripping someone off because whenever I sell adoptables, I always tell them it's 100% theirs. They own it 100%. Everything goes to them. And even the original drawing is 100% theirs. And they can do what they want with it. They can put on t-shirts. They can sell it. Whatever they want. I've always seen it like that because, I mean, I can understand if you're selling prints and then they don't own the original artwork to sell that artwork like as prints as well. Then I see that. I totally understand that. But when it comes to adoptables, I can understand this. Next one. So a while ago, I came across an account on a different amino asking for criticism and tips in their bio. I looked at their art and saw one of the drawings had titled "in really stiff legs," tilted and really stiff legs. So I commented nicely and gave them some links to some videos to improve anatomy. Then she replied saying their imperfections could be a part of their art style and blah blah blah. I never replied, but it was pretty obvious that the tilted stiff legs weren't on purpose. On top of that, they asked for criticism on their bio. They were older than me, according to their bio, and I guess they can't take criticism well. I hope they change their bio. Yeah, I get this. I get that totally, because like if you're asking for criticism, you should expect it. So make sure, guys, you leave your opinions in the comments and tell me what you think of all these different confessions. They were very interesting this time. I love these confessions, so make sure you send them in as well, and I'll pick them out. Just go join my amino and send me a little note on my page. Make sure you send a note and don't just comment it. I mean, commenting it's fine. That works too, but I mean, like, sending a note is the best way of doing it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your patience. Oh my goodness, this week has been something else. I've been so busy and just so all over the place with the whole app beta and everything like that. I really appreciate you guys being so supportive and so patient. And the first OC here we're going to is from Genevieve Grimm on DeviantArt, and they commissioned me, so thank you so much. You guys have no idea how much that helps support me, because recently me moving out to being on my own for the first time, it can be scary, and having you guys' support there and commissioning me and stuff like that, it really helps so much. I cannot stress that enough. Thank you so much for commissioning me. And their character here, which I believe's name is Faith, but it's spelled Faythe. So I think it's pronounced Faith. I could be pronouncing it wrong. Not sure, but they have a bio, so let me read this for you. This character, honestly, I think is super cool, and I'm not just saying that. I honestly believe it's really cool. It's a very unique design, and it just, it's cool. Okay, you guys tell me what you think. This is their bio. Miss Faith Callaghan. The name itself is pretty cool. The shadowy radio host of the Widower's Drop. It kind of sounds like one of those like creepy Disney movies, like Nightmare Before Christmas, stuff like that. The seaside town is a hotspot for the strange and unknown, while its inhabitants try and pretend that everything is okay. Many people have different views on the strange occurrences going on, yet Faith seems to have a deeper understanding of the events. Yet she does not hide the fact that she keeps those secrets to herself. She is anyways in conflict with the town's blackmailing mayor. Oh gosh, everything is so dark and eerie. It's so creepy. As she is the resident, which there is little to no information to gather on her, other than she never seems to leave the station. Her constant companion is a little beast under her desk. Oh, that's cute. And two heads with a strange purple fur. Her aloof and blasé attitude to the events of the town often leave the people unsure if they should be worried or if they should she's simply being silly. While she is always seen as being the relaxed personality, the wrappings that are often appear on her fingers do seem to suggest that she does something other than simply sit there behind her desk all day. That's very interesting. It's almost like she's some sort of like monster hunter, but she's kind of like hidden and she jokes about it, but she doesn't tell anyone about it. So that's kind of cool. I mean, obviously the place they live is pretty strange. If she has this like two-headed puppy, that's pretty strange. So you would assume something was going on there. But I mean, it's an interesting idea that everyone kind of in the city acts like the things aren't happening even though they are. And I don't know, I like that. I like the idea. It's kind of like a gothic sort of tone to like a show. If you had that as like an anime, people, it'd be more like a Soul Eater type of anime. So I'm like, that's very interesting. I would watch that if it was one. Next up here is Bright Eyes on Amino and their character, which is super adorable. Let's see. They also have a bio. Their name is Astrid White. Here we go. Astrid White was born in Armin Roseblood White. Born as Armin Roseblood White. That's her real name. Okay. She was born to a wealthy family who were the alphas of the werewolf pack called the Roseblood Pack. Her dad was in the Air Force and her mother was a real estate agent living in California. So her mother was the one who really took over for the pack. Until she was 4 years old, her and her mother went on a school field trip until a bus crashed. Everyone came out safe, but her mother was found dead. Oh gosh. That's not good. But not by the crash. She was murdered. Oh, goodness. Okay, this is escalating quickly. She was the only witness, but couldn't confess since behind her mother's real estate business was a very powerful mobster. Oh, gosh. But she collected supplies and funds to get back where the monsters came from. I look like this bio has been cut off. I probably cut it off when I first accepted this character, because sometimes I accept characters ahead of time and I put them into my phone and I go through them like in a list sort of, but I sometimes put them on my phone early and save the bios. So I don't know if this bio continued. I think I cut it off, so it probably was a lot longer, but I cut it off where I thought was a decent amount of it. And so far they sound pretty interesting. I've always seen so many stories with the whole alpha sort of idea behind it, with like the wolves and stuff like that. So I've never really actually read one of those stories, so I don't know exactly how it works or how any of that works. I've seen it like quite a few times in things, like even in Aphmau's little role plays, she also has that sort of setting in it, but I've never actually focused on it enough to know exactly how it works. But as you can tell from the character's design over there, it pretty much is base colors and there's not much shading, so I wasn't sure exactly how to get the colors, but since a lot of their colors, or the majority of their colors, were dark colors like black or dark gray, it wasn't that hard for me to figure out like, oh well, it's okay if I get it a little too light. I'm just gonna make it a few shades lighter and then add shadows. So that's what I did, but the only thing that was pretty much colored on the character was her skin, which was very pale, so I went with a very, very pale tone. I think it matches pretty okay so far. I'm not sure if I messed up, but right now it looks okay. And the jacket, which is brown, and I feel like I do make things normally a little too red whenever I do lighting. Like when I put down the base colors, everything's going okay and everything looks okay, and I'm doing like shadows, and I'm like, okay. But then once I start adding a shading and the lighting, and it gets pretty crazy. Next up here is Riverdrop on DeviantArt, and they purchased this character with the 50 sparkles you could save up by joining the Amino, by doing events and stuff like that. So they actually told me I could pick a character to draw. So that was exciting. I chose this character here. I don't remember exactly what all the other characters were that I could choose from, but this is the one I saved to my phone. His name is Airy. I'm not sure if that's right. His name could also be Air because I have two spellings of it. So I'm not entirely sure which one is the proper spelling. Age 3 to 23, depending on the role play. That's what it says. Race, werewolf, subspecies hellhound. I always thought hellhound sounded cool. Personality, he is very protective of his family and will do anything to protect them. He is a very serious and loyal and caring and kind and respects others. So pretty much he's man's best friend. he's like a puppy. Puppies are so loyal. Bio, he was adopted by 2 vampires. Oh my gosh, 2 vampires. What is he, a werewolf? Well, he is a werewolf. He's a werewolf subspecies hellhound, but he's adopted by 2 vampires. Now that's interesting. Okay, he's adopted by 2 vampires who had found him in the arms of his dead mother. Gosh! What is with the dead mothers in this? This is like would be the worst video ever for Mother's Day. You're like, guys, happy Mother's Day. Okay, let's do this now. This is terrible. Okay, they hadn't seen a werewolf like him. He was very sweet child, and he had a pretty normal childhood. sorry, I'm having trouble reading this. His family allowed him to join a nearby werewolf pack soon became the alpha male. Sorry, there's quite a few typos in this. It says because instead of became, and it's confusing me. By the age of 12, his siblings and his parents, friends, children loves to play with him, and he loves all of them and would protect them at any cost. It says coast, but I think they mean cost. And I get it. It's a very cute character. I'm just really bad at reading this. I'm sorry if I make your character seem worse. But this character is super cute. It's pretty much a werewolf adopted by vampires. I love that. I love that idea. That's like super neat because they're both like mythical creatures. And I don't know, that's kind of cool. Imagine an entire show or entire book written off mythical characters, but they're in like a more modern time. That's what I imagine this character would live in. Something like that, with lots of mythical creatures like the mermaids next door. But he was adopted by vampires. I think that would be super cute. And that's everything. If you guys want to submit your OCs, all you have to do is comment them below. The entire information on what you have to do to get your OC drawn is in the description. But also, if you wanted to skip the whole process, you can commission me, which really helps support me. So if you want to do that, the link is in the description as well. Or you can join my Amino, which is pretty much a social place where you can just hang out, chat, you can post your artwork. Or you can also join the fan club, which helps support me in real life. And you could join events and save up these things called sparkles, which will then guarantee you a drawing in one of these videos. There's a bit of a wait list, kind of a way to guarantee it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Today we're going to be going through more confessions. I always love doing this. And if you guys want to send in a confession, you have to go click on the link to my Amino and then click message on my profile to send it. If you put it into my profile as like normal comment box, it doesn't count. You have to actually click message for it to go through. But if you don't know, confessions is where you send an opinion that you may be a little, I don't know, controversial in the art community. And don't let anyone know what your username is. So, you know, no one will attack you after you say your opinions. So that's pretty much what this is. We're going to go through some people's opinions, and like I said, these are other people's opinions. They're not my opinions, so don't get angry at me for it. But also, this drawing I'm drawing in the video here is actually going to be an adoptable up on my Amino soon. I wanted to make one that's actually an animal once because so many people have been saying I never do animals, and they are fans of animal characters, so that's what I was going for. I hope you guys like it. Okay, so let's get into the confessions. The first one here is my art confession is that I hate it when people trace gotcha characters. I don't like it because they are not actually learning to draw. They are learning to trace. I have two opinions on this one, I suppose. Like, if someone was drawing or tracing gotcha characters just because they want to do it for fun and they aren't claiming it as their own, I see it as just harmless fun and they aren't worried about learning something from it, then go for it. But if they're doing it and claiming it and saying it's their work, even though they're just tracing, I would see more of a problem because then they're just using someone else's creation, which is gotcha, and claiming it as their own. So that's what I see. But you guys please do comment and let me know your opinions because I always love reading your comments. Next one here is art confession. I commissioned a girl to draw my OC about a year ago. She told me she would do... I waited. I don't know what that means. It was around the beginning of fall and I told her to take her time. Well, she definitely took her time. A few days passed and I texted her, hey, is my commission done yet? Oh no. No, sorry, I'm almost done. Just give me a few more days. Okay. I don't hear nothing from her for 2 weeks. I text her, no response. A month goes by, nothing. Eventually I tell her to drop the commission and I'll find someone else. LOL, I don't know if this is a confession or a rant. I don't agree with this at all because I know tons of artists that take months to finish their work. So I think it's important to make sure when you're commissioning to know how long they take. Like, don't expect them to be done in 2 days when they could have a backup, like a line of commissions that they're working on that could take them 2 months to get to you. So you have to make sure you know that. And I always tell people when they're commissioning me that there could be a long wait, because it's true. Sometimes there's like a long line and it takes a while to get to their commission. And I don't want them thinking, oh, I just like forgot about them, because I've had to wait like a month to finish someone's drawing before. So don't expect drawings to be done in like a day or two, especially for commissions. That's probably not going to happen. Not many people do that. Maybe a few commissioners, I don't think that's quite the word. A few people that do commissions probably could, but I don't think the majority could. Okay, let's go to the next one here. My confession is that people accuse me of being a tracer because my style can jump around from time to time. When I'm in the bubbly mood, I draw more cartoon style. If I'm not feeling the best, I'll draw in my realistic style. When I'm in the middle, I draw in a mix of both. People think I'm copying or tracing whenever I do this, which makes me feel that great. Doesn't make me feel that great. Oh my goodness, I can't read today. I'm sorry. But yeah, let's see. I don't know what I would say to this. Biggest thing is that when people are constantly accusing you of tracing and stuff like that, there isn't much you can do, especially online. I don't know how you're supposed to get by this. I always just tell people, if you don't believe me, you don't believe me. But then if it's a moderator thinking you're breaking a rule and stuff like that, it's a little more tricky, because some people require you to submit proof. But if it's just like you're hanging out and random people are accusing you of theft, honestly, I would report it to the moderators and tell them that they're bugging you or bullying you about it, and then they can probably stop it. But other than that, I don't know how you stop it. It happens so often. Let's go on to the next one. I feel super weird adding watermarks or signatures to my art, because I feel like by doing that, I'm saying that my art is worth stealing. I definitely don't think it is. Okay, this one I relate to a lot. As you probably noticed, I don't normally add my signature to any of my drawings unless it's like an adoptable, because I have to make sure it doesn't get taken away from the person who ends up buying it, because it's supposed to be their design. So that's the only time I ever add watermarks, but I probably should start adding a signature. I've never have, because I had the same reason this person is I was always like, well, it's not really worth anything, so why put a watermark? And I've never really thought about it, but I guess that's something about the anatomy or general shape of something while still in the sketching phase of my drawing. That's a good point. And the best time is when they're trying to annoy me by watching me draw when I ask them something and they get so confused and run off. It's fun. I hate when people watch me draw. I hate it so much. It makes me so awkward. But with this, where you're in the sketching phase and someone's watching you sketch, I guess they could give you some pointers, but honestly, it would be the worst in the sketching phase for me. Coloring is something that is just like going from step one to the end of the drawing, so it's not as awkward. But sketching, I do lots of erasing, lots of redrawing and erasing over and over again, so it'd be really weird having someone watch me. I don't know, I'd be nervous. Let's see here. Confession. I hate whenever I get criticism on my art. It's just, wow, it's perfect and amazing, keep practicing and you'll get better, or it's bad, fix it. When people give me this type of criticism, I don't know how to improve and what's bad in my art. I would like if people or someone said maybe work on the face, try and add more detail, and make the skin color stay consistent throughout the face. Criticism like that helps me improve, but I don't ever get many comments on my art like that. So this one is about, of course, well, criticism. And I feel like this one happens a lot. People critique art, and some people aren't very good at critiquing. It usually turns into dissing the art or not really critiquing it at all. There's never really a good middle ground with it. And I feel like it's hard to get that middle ground, because sometimes I see people in the chat and they're critiquing work, but they just sound mean. They sound super mean with the way they say things. And then other people critiquing art and they aren't really critiquing it at all. So it's like, how do you get that middle ground? I guess some people are just good at critiquing, but I'm always scared to critique because I feel like it's not my place. Like, I don't know. I don't know why for me. I feel bad critiquing anything, probably because I feel like it's their style and they probably know what they're doing, and I'm scared to do anything. That's why every time people ask me for art tips, I'm so nervous. Oh my goodness. Let's see, next one. I don't know if you meant an actual message or on your wall, but my confession is I don't like when people use the word commission for request. When you say, does anyone do commissions? And then you ask the person who responds, is it free? Then you didn't want a commission, you wanted a request. I think this is more of a pet peeve than anything. I agree to some extent because all the time I get emails, people saying, I want to get a commission, I want to do a commission here, I want the commission. I think they just think commission means request. So that's probably the biggest problem. But I write them back and I'm like, oh, well, my commission prices are this. And I explain to them that there's free requests and commissions. I have to explain it a lot because a lot of times people write just saying they want a commission, but they wanted a free request. So I don't know. And we're pretty much done here. I was going to do a couple more, but I can't get through them fast enough. They're nerve-wracking, but I hope you guys like it. And again, make sure to write me on Amino, and you have to click message on my profile in order to actually get submitted to the confessions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Before we get started here, I want to let you know that the app game we've been working on is actually almost ready for beta testing. So if you want to help out with beta testing, which will mean you guys will try and find all the bugs that are possible in the game and let us know about them, all you have to do is go in the description and write that email and let them know you want to help out. If you do help out, you will get a special little glow for your icon that's special for beta testers, so I hope you guys will join. So please don't expect a finished product right away. There's going to be lots of bugs and lots of stuff we're going to be updating and things like that. So the idea is to try and find all the bugs before release, so your guys' help will mean a lot. So please do email them. As you can tell here today, we're actually drawing Nessa from the new Pokemon Sword and Shield games, which is super exciting, and I was super excited about because I saw a ton of people online were drawing Nessa all over Instagram, DeviantArt, all the places you could possibly imagine. Tons of her drawings, and I was like, I want to draw her too. It was like, I'm pretty sure any artist right now is dying to draw Nessa after seeing everyone else's renditions of her. So I wanted to try my best on this. I actually wanted to have her holding the Dynamax Pokeball, which is what they use to have those giant Pokemon in the new game, which is super unique. I was not expecting that. I guess recently in Pokemon games, they've been giving them very interesting new things like the Z moves and stuff like that they use only in specific regions, which doesn't really make much sense in the lore, but it makes sense for Pokemon's gameplay to have different aspects to it, I guess. I don't know. But it looks very interesting. It makes the Pokemon very huge and intimidating, even though you can make cute Pokemon ginormous. So those aren't exactly intimidating as much as you think Pikachu's gonna sit on you or something, and that would be creepy. I don't even know, honestly. I'm not sure what all Pokemon are going to be in the game. If it's going to be all of them or just certain ones. And I don't know, because they have so many Pokemon now, I wouldn't be surprised to fight the gyms, and that was the original idea. So they did the best they could with what they had. And they had to put the Pokemon in these little areas that were the grass, and they had to have trainers stand alongside the road so they can fight you. But you think when technology went forward, they would still aim for the goal that was the original goal set, rather than continue to copy the original gameplay. Because the gameplay was that way just because they were limited with what they could do. So of course everything was limited. The sounds of the Pokemon sounded like weird robotic noises. That's because they were limited to the sounds they could make too. So you think they would upgrade when they move forward with technology, but I feel like Pokemon is very slow to upgrade, and no one seems to actually give any backlash for that. They just kind of let them do it over and over again and keep giving them great reviews, even though they're falling behind with graphics and they're falling behind with gameplay, and they just keep doing the same thing every time. I would love to see an updated version. I know they're trying to move in the right direction, which I'm giving them props for. That's great to move in the right direction, because now they're trying to put Pokemon in the overworld. Even though it looks very unnatural, they're still trying. They're moving forward. The biggest problem right now for them is they're suddenly going to console with the same developers that do the 3DS games and stuff like that. So it's going to look like a 3DS game on console. The graphics aren't very good, which is kind of sad. And of course, everyone who saw like Breath of the Wild, suddenly Zelda updated and it became something new. Everyone had this hope in the back of their mind that Pokemon is going to be new and different, but it's still very much similar to the same thing again. It's going to be very similar to Pokemon as always, but hey, they're trying to go in the right direction. So I still have hope that in the future, Pokemon will become what the original idea was and the original vision. They're going to do that, but so far I have not seen it. With Nessa here, this was the first gym leader they reviewed, or they showed everybody, and everyone is super stoked because they're all excited that Nessa's here and we finally have someone that's shown from the game. And I would like to see all the others as well, but I really like her design. I realized right away that her hair in the official artwork kind of looks like a fish's tail, which is kind of cheesy, but it's interesting. I've never seen that before. Her hair, by the way, is very difficult to draw. I had to keep looking at different photos and find how other people drew her hair to figure out what the heck her hair was doing because I was so confused. But now that I figured it out, it's not as difficult as I thought it was. It just seemed very difficult at first for some reason. Also, speaking of the Dynamax Pokeball, it has this really reddish glow to it, or like almost like a pink on the Pokeball. So I realized right away after I was coloring her, like all this color. I have no idea what the color names are. I know like the primary colors, and then every time it's a color in between or different shades, I'm like, that's a bluish green, or that's a that's a reddish blue. It's bad. Okay, a reddish blue. I could have just said purple, but you know what I mean. I'm just not good with the colors. I'm not good with them. I don't know the names at all, so I struggle with that. But it's worse when you're talking to other artists and they're like, oh, well, what color should I use? I'm like, I know the color that you should use, but I don't know how to say it to you. I don't know the name of it. So that's terrible. I should probably learn the names. As you can see here, I'm starting to add that red glow that I was talking about that I needed in order to make the Pokeball look like it's actually shining, because that's also the reason I left the line art to be more red and all that, because I wanted it to go with the Pokeball. And I wanted it to look like she was about to toss it, which the reason I did this was because I really wanted to use that Dynamax Pokeball because it looks so cool. And I haven't seen much fan art of her with it, so I thought that would be more unique and something to do that's different. My first idea, I was going to put her Pokemon like behind her and have him all huge like a Dynamax thing. But then I decided against that because I wanted to use the Pokeball, and then her holding the Pokeball while he's already out didn't make any sense. But I was trying to get the exact colors. As you can see here from the background, I would just go and like get them with the little syringe and just put them back on because I was trying to make it look as accurate as possible. But the biggest problem is that the original art, like you see on the right there, that has no shading. There's no shading really on her artwork besides very minimal. So for anyone adding shading, her skin and all of the colors on her is going to change a lot drastically from that. So that's probably why a lot of people notice colors change. It's because they add lots of shading and highlights and stuff like that that aren't on the original. So it changes it drastically. But I hope you guys like this. I had so much fun with it. And I'm excited to do more things like this, so please do let me know what you'd like to see next. And don't forget to email the person in the description for doing the testing the beta. Thank you guys so much for watching. Second doing this voiceover. Oh my goodness, I was trying to upload twice this week, as you can tell, because I uploaded in the middle of the week, and it's been a rush trying to get this many drawings done in 1 week. So I hope you guys like them and they aren't rushed. I made sure not to rush the commission work because that would be totally unfair. So this commission here is from Telempora on Instagram. They have commissioned me so many times. Oh my gosh, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. You guys support me so very much from commissions. You have no idea. So I cannot thank you enough for all the support. They support me all the time, even on Amino. They buy my adopts, they do stuff like that. So it's just super sweet, and I cannot even thank you enough. I don't even know how to put it into words, but this is their OC here, which is kind of like an OC, also like a rendition of their friend in a person, which is like all their characters in their book. They have like this comic or book, I don't know exactly, I think it's a comic that they're planning on doing, and all the characters are based off of actual people put into a fantasy sort of setting. So it's very interesting. This character here, their name is Feng. They have a bio, so I'm going to read that for you. The name is Feng. Species is Fae. He explained all the species to me before, but I'd have to think it through to know. I think it meant like supernatural powers, maybe? I don't know. Or was that elemental? I don't know. Subspecies elemental. Okay, wait. There's 2 species here. Elements fire and air. Personal attribute. Stealth, not an over-the-top attribute. He was born with the ability to find, was to blend, I don't know what that means, into his background. He was an orphan that was adopted and raised by a master assassin. Oh, that's interesting. And when he came of age, Feng went out to become one of the most renowned assassin bounty hunters. That's interesting. However, when the Emperor finally breached the World Tree, I don't remember exactly how it worked. I think it was like the overall power of the world. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your story. I'm trying my best. Feng was given the powers of the Solar Marangua. I can't pronounce that. Marangua? I don't know. Okay, it says here the Moengwa. I can't pronounce it, I'm so sorry! Okay, the Moengwa power are only passed down to women, so when Feng obtained this power, he was given immortality in exchange for his memory. That's interesting. So it was a power that's meant to go to women, but for some reason he got it or something, and that made it change how it worked. That's interesting. I always thought that sort of thing where it's like made for just one gender given to another gender, it does change things up. So I think that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. By the way, he actually gave me 2 different types of characters to draw. The first one was like, he wanted me to pick which one to draw. One was an assassin, which is the one I did pick originally, but then one was also a cleric or like a mage sort of thing. And I was going to pick that one, but then I picked this one because I was like, oh, I liked it. And I thought the hair reminded me of Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and that was a terrible reason, but that was why. And I wish I would have drawn the other one too, because he updated the outfit. It looked really cool. Okay, the next one up here is Shining High on Amino, and this is an adorable OC. I struggled with it bad. I was struggling so much with all the details, but it was so much fun to do even when I was rushed, because I was super rushed to get these 2 winter OCs out. But yeah, if you guys have to let me know if it made the art get a lot worse, or if it looks okay and you're okay with me doing 2 videos a week, please do let me know in the comments. And they have a bio here of this character. Let me see. Her name is Serenity, but she is most known as Shine. She is around 19 years old. I made her look pretty young, but it's anime, so hopefully that's okay. She is a reserved person and for the most part only hangs out with people she knows. She is also not the type of person to lie and will tell anyone the truth, even if it sometimes gets her into some bad situations. And lastly, she is someone who will stand up for and help people she cares about, whether it's helping with cooking or fighting someone. Oh, whoa, that's 2 very different things. In current time, she is a high school student fighting her way to the top in classes before she graduates. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. So she's like in school and she's working real hard to get good grades. That's nice. That's neat. I mean, I always like to see characters that are like upstanding and like a good role model for people, you know, things like that, where it's like they're like really kind and they help people out and they also get good grades and they try their best with everything they do, stuff like that. I feel like that's very heartwarming, and you don't always see that. Normally you only see the dark things when it comes to OCs. Like you always see very dark stories, very murderous characters, things like that. But when you see something so sweet and kind and so innocent, I don't know, it makes you happy, doesn't it? It's always so wholesome and so kind and nice, and I don't know, it always makes me feel good. I always like seeing super sweet characters. I mean, I love the dark characters too. I can't say I don't, because when I was a kid and I made up characters with my brother, they always became super dark characters. So I can't say I'm innocent when it comes to that. I always end up making characters super dark and having dark stories. So, and that's probably why it's so weird to me to see like a more innocent type of character. I also was struggling a bit with the color, but now that I see it side by side, right now the colors look okay and they match the original. So I'm hoping it continues to be that way, because sometimes when I finish off the drawing, the colors don't match at all. But right now they actually look kind of close, which is rare for me. Normally when I'm drawing characters, the colors are far from what they're supposed to be, but I tried. And I was not sure about posing too. That was very difficult for me. Next up here is I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry, on Instagram. And this OC of theirs is super cute. He looks so fancy and he just looks spunky. And I thought it was just so, I don't know, adorable. He looks like he has maybe a flirtatious personality, which I think is so cute, because every time I think of characters that have flirtatious personalities, I think of Tamaki from Ouran High School Host Club, and I love that anime to pieces. I guess almost all the guys in that have a pretty flirtatious personality, but that anime was one of my favorites when I was younger. I was gonna say as a kid, but I don't remember exactly how old I was. I was probably around like 14 when I watched it. I don't know, but I love that anime still to this day. I rewatched it recently and it's so cool. And one thing about drawing this OC that I was not sure about was there's these shines on his cheeks, on his face there, you see? I'm not sure if those were actually circles like paint or something like that on his face, or if those were supposed to be shines based on the person's style. Which it could have been. It could have been shines. So I kind of added the circles of not knowing whether they were circles or shines. So I wasn't sure, but hopefully it's okay and they don't mind. I also wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to do the eyes. As you can see here, I'm adding like a purple on the eyes, which is probably not exactly true to the character, but I thought it matched his very princely attitude he has going on with his little like wink over there. It looks adorable. And also he had an earring, as you could probably saw at the beginning. I kind of forgot he had an earring and I didn't put it in, and then I had to put it in late. And I do that a lot where I have to add things in, and it just makes things a little difficult to make it mesh, but I try my best. I do actually hook together my layers as I'm going, which can be bad when you want to change something, which is why I send my commissioners a sketch rather than the finished drawing to begin with, because I want to make sure they like the sketch before I try finishing it, because once I finish it, it's hard for me to change anything. I finish the sketch and then I hook it all together. I finish the line art, I hook it all together, and I finish the coloring, then I hook it all together. That's pretty much how I do things, so it's hard to change things sometimes after that. And this was actually one of those that was purchased on Amino for Sparkles. You can save up Sparkles if you join the fan club. And if you join the fan club, you save up Sparkles by doing events like, there's a contest, or there's an event asking you to draw something with one color, stuff like that. You join those events and you earn Sparkles. If you earn 50 Sparkles, you can get one of these drawings in one of these videos for free, just with Sparkles. So that's kind of fun and exciting, because that's another way for people to get OCs drawn without having to commission me, which was the whole goal. I want to make sure there's lots of ways to get OCs drawn without having to commission and stuff like that. I want them to be free. I want that to be a thing. Commissions are just for those who want to support me and want to skip the whole process of waiting, which waiting can be pretty long sometimes whenever it comes to the free OCs, because there's quite a line sometimes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want a free OC drawing, make sure to check out the description for any information on that, and comment them below and just be like, here's my OC, and that works too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm here with Shifter Art. You want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Electro.
I'm Chef.
Yes, and they have an art channel that's really cool, and they have a really unique art style, and they draw together sometimes, which is really cool. So if you guys want to check them out, I'll put the link in the description and also in the comments, and you guys have to go subscribe and go check out their videos, okay? So thank you. We're all kind of nervous. We've never done a video like this together before, so just, you know, ignore how casual this is and weird. Alrighty, we're going to be reading confessions. And if you guys don't know, confessions is pretty much people are going to send in random, like, opinions they have. And then we're going to read them, and they're not our opinions, so don't get mad at me. It's not my opinion. I'm going to read the first one, and then we're going to go back and forth. Okay, confession here. I feel really overrated. I'm nearly at 700 followers on IG, and I'm not saying I'm not grateful for it, but I feel like other artists, like my close friends, who are way better than me, deserve to have more followers than me, as they draw much better art and have better personalities than me. I wish people would like their art and follow them instead of following me because I'm nowhere near some of their levels of skill. We've kind of had the one like this before where people say they're overrated online, or they get too many likes for how new they are at art, or too many views. And honestly, for me, I feel like that is kind of random. I'm not saying some people don't earn their subscribers. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that most of the time, say two people are drawing the same type of art and the exact same skill, someone's going to get more views than the other person because it's kind of random almost online with who gets out and who doesn't. And it can be really, it can be really random. Like, for instance, Shifter Art here, I have amazing videos, and for some reason it would have less views than me. Mine is like lower quality half the time. So that's not fair. It doesn't make sense why that is. So that's why, honestly, guys, go subscribe, because the internet's not, it's not fair. It's not. I'm just being honest here. I don't deserve it.
You do.
You agree?
But it depends, you know, yeah. Like, we were talking about this, like, depends. Like, it could be a nostalgia thing, it could be anything, like the style.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty random almost, because sometimes it's not random. Like, say, for instance, if people share someone online, like say they watch Markiplier and they share all his videos with their friends, and of course that's more like a growing from someone's word rather than just random. But still, I don't know, it feels pretty random online. I don't know how to explain it. Like Instagram, what makes someone more popular on Instagram?
Yeah, comparing yourself to better artists than, in their opinion, than yourself is always going to be damaging as well. Like, I'm constantly comparing myself to Electro and going, I wish I was so good.
No, but that's the thing, is that we should just compare ourselves to ourselves. But honestly, I've seen some incredible artists on DeviantArt, and they don't have much of a following, and that to me seems unfair because they're so good. They're so amazing at art, but some people just, I don't know why. It's just the internet is so random, I guess. I don't understand it. I honestly can't figure it out.
Yeah, other art where I'm like, I 2 likes. Why doesn't it have more than that?
I don't get it. It seems so random. Okay, let's move on to the next one, or else this video is going to be really long. You guys can read this one.
I hate it when people are hypocrites when it comes to having a certain story that looks bad, but it's not. And they red flag the art just because a guy is shirtless cuddling his girl, or shirtless and they are sharing a kiss. And then you go check their art out. They have something worse and disturbing, and that clearly has a caption that expresses their art in the way they want it. And I strongly dislike it when people don't seem to understand that when you say you're busy and are unable to work on that art. We were doing that like one day or something like that. I'm like, I'll do them, but it's gonna take time.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a lot of artists get this, where they get asked for things a lot, even though they're super busy, and they have to keep telling them, and like they come in for checkups like so often, like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? But sometimes artists take a while, so it's not always done right away. Okay.
Yeah, well, most people have been alright. We've had like maybe 1 or 2. I did like 30 in 1 month, and then after that, I'm like, no, I gotta stop. Otherwise, I'm not gonna draw up.
In a month?
Yeah, I did one every day, 1 a day. I couldn't do it.
I would get so burnt out. I have to have some time off, or else I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
That was his holidays, and he spent all of it drawing, and then he went back to work, and he was just like, I'm so burnt out. When's my second holiday?
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. Don't do that. No, guys, don't do that. That's bad. Okay, let's go to the next one. These are long confessions. My gosh. This one I cut off on accident. Okay, we'll get it. My confession is that I want to start commissions, but there are a few problems that I'm facing. The main problem is that I'm a very forgetful person, and I'm afraid of starting commissions and then simply not doing them thanks to my lack of memory. I mean, I sometimes will randomly get bored with drawing and in the middle of my own drawings and then forget to ever go back. I don't want the same to happen to my commission I agree to do. I don't want people to get angry or upset when I say I'll do their commission and not do so, or only half complete it by a deadline that may have been set. Oh, deadlines, those are always hard. But I know it will happen. There are always going to be those people who won't believe I actually forgot and might take it personally, so I'm a little afraid to start commissions and then end up offering, so I cut it off. But I get the idea. I get the idea. They're pretty much saying that they're scared they're going to forget things or miss deadlines. The biggest thing that's helped me is write it down. Just write down every commission you get and then put like in your phone, put the images of the references, put any sort of requests they had for posing, facial expressions in there, and then check mark each part when you get it done. Like for just a sketch, you wanted to send to them before you finish the drawing. Make sure you check mark each part so that every day when you wake up, you can look at where you were and where you are and, you know, pick back up where you were without forgetting. That's for me.
We've got this whole of paper, basically, that has like all the commission details and all that stuff. And we have like 100 different colored pencil text to highlight each thing.
All color coded, and then pick it up around with us. So like, how do I do that?
Yeah. It's really important to write it down.
Yeah, it is, and it helps. And like, I will get up and stop recording halfway through the time. Like, what I do is like, I put on music and I dance around.
I mean, I can understand that. It helped you be a little more energetic, especially when halfway through drawing, I always feel like I need to take a nap, and I need something to wake me up.
See, it's like you just get so sleepy sometimes.
I know, because you're just sitting there drawing and there's nothing happening and you get so tired.
Yeah, and it's like there's no one else here. Playlist, you're going on, cats, you're dancing. That's it. That's happening.
I have no idea. Like, I honestly, the only thing I would think of is just writing it down, because I don't know what else would help with like being forgetful, or maybe they were scared of missing deadlines. That's a thing. So how would you fix missing a deadline?
I'd probably get the annoying parts out of the way and done with first. That's what I always do. I get the parts I don't like most, which is usually hands, and then everything else just seems to come really easily after.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah, I feel like with deadlines, if you have multiple commissions, do the one that has a deadline first, and don't accept it until you know you can put it first. You need to be able to do that, or else you can't accept deadline work, because you have other things you're working on too, and you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, okay. So I have a confession. I can't stand when a person says they have an anime art style. Anime is versatile and has many styles. It's a form of animation. Sure, you can have a style similar to mainstream anime, but anime itself has thousands of styles. So yeah, I get unreasonably angry when people say they have an anime style as an otaku and an artist.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of like the base. They're saying like the base generic like anime style, you know, where they came from, and they're evolving from that.
And like when we were younger, Sailor Moon performers weren't anime, they were just cartoons.
Yeah, we
didn't
know
we didn't even know there's a style to it. It's like
because maybe they mean like the base anime style, but then I always say anime inspired style or something anime kind of like anime, because so many, they are kind of different. But when they say anime, I think they just mean like a type of anime style. They don't mean exactly one type of anime.
Yeah, it would be like saying like, you know, how you've got like cartoons like Adventure Time or Steven Universe. The styles are different, but they're very similar. I would say that cartoon style. I feel like that's the same thing. It's an anime, cartoon, and that's what people just put it under that one umbrella, because it's like trying to learn all the names and stuff.
Yeah, because tons of people say cartoon.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's like anime is cartoon is like, you know, they're all under that one bracket. I don't know who animates the character, stuff like that. I don't know if they have a personal style. It's just like, what's that?
I don't know, because I never know what to call my style either. I'm always like, it's sort of anime-ish. I don't know what to call it. So what do you call it?
Yeah.
When someone asks you, what do you say?
That was like when we first started. I'm like, I don't really think I have a style. I don't feel like it's innovative or it's realistic. I'm like,
you have
I
your
just
own
draw.
style. I mean, whatever you do
yeah.
is your own. So when someone
Well,
asks you, how do you answer it?
Comic book, anime, realism, just in a blend.
Just name a lot of like hashtags.
Oh my god, they're gonna be starting a hashtag.
Okay, let's move on to the next one before this gets too long. Okay, so here's my confession. I hate the fact that now these days I have to put down art made by me in almost every social media because while you show proof that you don't trace heavy references, all caps, or steal by showing whips of your work, there will still be people saying, you definitely stole this art, even though they saw the proofs of no tracing and reverse image your drawings. I get that some people lie about creating their arts, but typing the line art by me on every social media platform makes me feel like I will be a criminal for not crediting myself when I post all of my whips along with my finished work. Okay, well, for me, I see this as like someone typing art made by me. Anyone can do that. So if someone doesn't trust your whips or doesn't trust you made the work, even if you don't upload any sort of work in progress, that's on them. You don't have to somehow prove it to them, I don't think.
I feel like the issue is people stealing your art more than you worried that people are stealing in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we had the same issue on the other Amino's where they're like post proof, and I'm like, I want to post proof because someone might still get the base work and stuff and steal it that way. So what I did was like I took a picture of my computer screen with the flash on, so that way it was distorted, but it showed the work, so no one could actually steal it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then had just.
I agree because if you, I don't understand why someone would ask you to have proof. Because one, people shouldn't be accusing you of stealing unless they already have proof that you're stealing. For instance, in the Amino, we have the rule is you're not supposed to talk to anyone about the idea of them stealing unless you have proof they're doing it. Because you can't just write someone and be like, prove you drew this. Because that's not fair, because they could be drawing it. The only thing is if you have some idea or something behind it, that's actually a good basis that they're actually stealing something.
Yeah, well, that's why I think like the YouTube for us is good, because at least we got proof and a date and time of when we uploaded it, so we can backtrack it before they posted it on DeviantArt or whatever. If they, like,
I mean, yeah, because when you're on YouTube, you get speed paints, so that's pretty much the best proof you could have.
Like, that's about like 10,000 worth of proof.
Yeah, frame by frame.
We're going for way too long. I'm sorry, guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please make sure to go subscribe to Shift Draw Art and check out their videos.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to leave a confession, you can either leave it in the comments or just go write me on Amino. I'll put that in the comment as well. And that's pretty much what we do. You don't have to leave your confessions in the comments if you don't want, because you don't have to say who you are. It makes it a little less awkward, if you have something you don't want people to know about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Drawing more of your OCs. This first OC here is for Kiwi Freckles 522's birthday. It was actually a commission, so thank you so much for commissioning me. I really appreciate it. It really helps support me, so if anyone wants to actually commission me, the link is in the description. And a happy birthday. I hope you had a great birthday. And let me see, they actually have a bio for this character I will read, but I wanted to let you know this character was so much fun to draw. I mean, I was obsessed with trying to draw this character, so I had a lot of fun with poses. They wanted a dynamic, energetic pose, so that was so much fun for me. And the character colors were so different from what I'm used to. Normally the characters I draw, if they have like blue hair, normally the skin contrasts so much that you wouldn't notice, but this is like blue hair with a purple skin, which is very unique and different. I normally never draw things like that. Their bio here is, Vanessa is a 16-year-old wolf girl with a bubbly and energetic personality. She has average grades and very curly and fluffy tail. She is pretty likable, but may come off as annoying due to her overly enthusiastic attitude. She can be pretty loud and is passionate about things she loves. Vanessa is protective of her friends and family, and she knows where that fine line between not enough and too much stands. That is super cute. She reminds me of like, I'm guessing this is probably more like a persona. I'm guessing she's like trying to get the idea of like a normal real life girl, which is really cool. That's one thing I really like about OCs. I feel like they're personable and I feel like real people, because most OCs, they were like pretty fantastical, you know what I mean, where like you get an OC and they're like I don't know, an immortal girl from the Dragonland, and it's not very relatable. But this is a very relatable character. Despite having a tail and ears, they are very relatable personality, and they're very relatable about not having perfect grades. So they're not perfect. Normally all the characters are always very perfect and everything you can think of, but being more like a real person, that's very interesting, and it's very rare. I don't normally see that very often. But oh my goodness, drawing this OC, I was so obsessed with this. I was having so much fun. The thing is that was most challenging to me was actually the eyes. As you can see on the right there, the eyes look very pink, like a pale pink. But when I drew them, they always come out more vibrant and more red and more just, I don't know, eye bleeding colors. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, I couldn't get it to look right. I was trying to make it pale, but then it didn't work, and it doesn't look as pale as I wanted it to. But I guess you can still tell. My goal when I draw these characters and try and make them look close to your guys' original design, but it's going to be in my style, so sometimes it does change a bit, but I try to keep it pretty close. But like I said, this pose was definitely one of the most difficult poses I have ever drawn in this OC series at all. Normally I draw them standing or sitting, but this is the first time I think I've drawn them jumping. I don't think I've ever drawn a jumping character in this series before, so that was very challenging. You guys have to let me know what you think. I was struggling quite a bit with proportions with it, trying to make sure that the proportions I think is close enough. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this, especially all these like animal type characters. I haven't drawn a lot of characters with ears or tails like all together before. I've drawn quite a few, but not all at once, and this was very fun. It was like an entire week devoted to animal people, and that was very interesting. Make sure you guys, if you want your OC drawn, you post it down in the comments with a link to your OC, either a reference or just a text description. And if you want to commission me and skip the whole random selection process, the link is in the description as well. So thank you so much, guys, for watching these and commissioning me and supporting me up on my Amino. And speaking of my Amino, we're having like a social site where everyone could join and we chat and stuff like that. So make sure to check it out. You can post your art up there and everyone will see it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be looking at more confessions. I'm super excited about this because I love these confession videos. I love looking at everyone's confessions. And again, these confessions are not my opinion. I know a lot of people are like saying, oh, it's actually her opinion. She picks ones that are her opinion. That's not true. I just pick whatever I think looks the most, I don't know, controversial. And then I talk about those because I think those are the most interesting, and see what your guys' opinions are and stuff like that, because everyone has so different opinions. I think it's very interesting, so that's what I'm going to be trying today. By the way, I'm sorry about the late upload. I recently have moved into my new house, which is super exciting. I'm still unpacking and stuff like that, so let me know if you guys would like to see some pictures and whatnot. Maybe I can upload them on Instagram or Amino and stuff like that, so I'm excited about that. It's a lot of fun. So let's see. Remember, this is not my opinion, so everyone don't hate me. All right, the first confession here is, I hate when artists start commissions before they even spend time on improving their art. I don't mind when it's Amino coins, but when it's actual money, then it kind of irritates me. Notice, these artworks have 90-degree angles for elbows, reuse the smudge tool, have nothing that shows proper anatomy, etc. These are also artists who hide the hands, eyes, feet, etc. without trying to draw them and improve on them. I don't really agree with this confession in the slightest.
The reason being is if someone starts commissions and say they're a new artist and they start them for $25 when they just started art and they haven't really found their style or anything yet, then people most likely, if they don't find it worth it, won't buy it. See, if someone finds something worth it, they will buy it, but if they don't, they won't. So either way, it's going to even out. So if someone starts and they make it $25 as soon as they start, if they don't get any sales, they'll realize that, and they'll realize they need to drop the price. So pretty much it kind of evens itself out whenever you're doing commissions. Even if they've just started and you started your own commissions, you will learn where you got to start. For instance, I started with $5, but slowly you can up your price over time when you realize you're getting too many commissions and stuff like that. And if people want to support you, like you guys support me so much, and that's pretty much how I do it anyway. And I think that's the best way to go about commissions. Next confession here is I started drawing off how to draw anime books and did pretty well. I eventually did branch off and actually gained something of a style, but I've seen people ridicule how to draw books, which makes me feel embarrassed that I did do that to start art. Sorry. Okay, how to draw anime books. I've never tried how to draw anime book, so I don't know much about them, but I don't see why that would be ridiculed or people would think that's embarrassing. I don't understand why that would be so. You guys have to let me know in the comments because that doesn't seem embarrassing at all. Everyone learns from something, so why not learn from a how to draw anime book? I don't know. The next confession here. I used to trace art a lot, and every time my mom or someone would ask me if I drew it, I'd tell them that I did, but it always made me feel guilty, so over time I told my mom like 3 years ago. It actually made me feel guilty, so I was basically crying, and my mom told me to calm down and it's okay. So yeah, that's my embarrassing confession. I haven't traced since then. Hope you enjoyed my confession. Okay, tracing, that's interesting. When I was very young, I used to draw, not seriously, but of course I drew as a little kid. Like I was a toddler drawing. And I'm pretty sure every little kid has tried putting their paper over like a comic book or something and tracing the characters for fun. And the thing is that it doesn't really matter. Like if you're just doing it for like a kid and you're having fun, it's different if you're like claiming it as your own. I can understand where you would be embarrassed by that and be like, oh, I don't want to claim something that's not mine and stuff like that. So I completely understand that. Though I think a lot of kids like to trace things and stuff like that. So, and also a lot of people like to trace things even if they're not interested in art, just so they can like make a character up without having to get into drawing. So I've noticed that too. So I don't know. I mean, I think everyone has different opinions. I've always been a little slack on what I consider art theft and things like that. So some people may have more stern opinions on that. Okay, here's the next confession. So, I don't like it when people ask me to draw them or draw everything for them. I'm known as the art kid in school, and I always get asked to draw everything on an assignment that requires something to be drawn. I also don't like being asked to draw someone as in their self, because then I feel so pressured to do it and worry about it if it'll be horrible, and due to this, I lose motivation. This one I understand slightly. Like, I understand if you didn't, like, if people are expecting you to draw them and they keep asking you to draw them and they expect you to, then I understand it. Then it feels like they're kind of being entitled. But like for me, for instance, you guys all know I love it when you guys send in your OCs and ask them to be drawn because I'm asking for that. And that's what I want to do. So that's doesn't upset me. It actually makes me happy. But the one thing that does upset me is when people get a little entitled or someone gets upset that I didn't draw their OC fast enough, even though it's not guaranteed and stuff like that. That's the stuff that would make me upset. So I understand this. If like when people start feeling like they're entitled to your work without paying and stuff like that, then I can understand being upset. Let's see, the next confession. I am sorry, but I highly dislike anime and K-pop art. Oh my goodness, this is going to make people so angry. I am fine with it if it comes up once or twice, but when it's featured and gets really annoying, I don't like looking at the same anime stuff every time, and anime stars are okay, but fan art, especially BTS, can annoy me. Okay, now I know why they're saying only BTS. They're not literally saying they dislike just K-pop art in general. They're only saying that because BTS is popular. And this happens very commonly. It's like, for instance, Frozen, the movie came out and it got so popular, people got annoyed with it. They got annoyed with it because it was so popular, that's all they ever heard about. So they just got annoyed with it and they hated the movie even if they didn't see it. So for instance, a lot of people hate BTS even though they don't know their music or they don't listen to them. because of the fandom or they hear about it too much. So it's like the thing where you start hating something just because of what you hear about it rather than actually knowing what it is. And I've run into this a lot. I feel like it's even happened to me. Like, for instance, if someone posts about something and I find it annoying, I will hate the thing or start to dislike the thing without actually trying it myself, which is so messed up and wrong. I shouldn't do that. I should actually try the show and not dislike the show just based on a fandom. So yeah, I don't agree with this. I think it's silly to not like anime just because it's a big genre or a big style and a lot of people use it, but they use different variations of it, and I love anime obviously, so obviously I don't agree with this. And I love BTS and I love K-pop, so this is the opposite of me. Next one here. When I was little, around 3rd or 4th grade, I didn't know tracing was a bad thing. Oh no, this is another tracing one. And I wasn't online much, so if I could get my drawing right, couldn't get my drawing right, I would trace art and claim it as my own, being super proud and show people. But as I grew older, I saw that it was doing art theft and got extremely worried and threw all my traced art away and promised I'd never trace again. Now I'm older and do all my original art, but I've always been in the back of my mind. Oh. But yeah, that's another thing, like tracing. I feel like even when I first started, like especially on I started on Roblox when I was like maybe 12. I started drawing, and that was when I started drawing more seriously, and I started drawing pictures for people. I would look at pictures and like very closely reference them, and sometimes I even did things that were like tracing, like when I drew like Princess Peach or something. It was almost like I just completely copied the original. It wasn't really tracing because it was just copying it, but it was very close copies, so it was almost like tracing. And so I understand that, and I still feel bad about it. Like, I shouldn't have done that, or shouldn't have copied it so closely, stuff like that. So I understand, and the thing is, everyone grows up past that, and everyone learns to do their own things, so I don't see why it's embarrassing. Next confession. I constantly make the facial expression that I'm drawing, and I draw a lot in public, and it is only the last few times I have noticed I was doing it. I always thought people just stared at me with a weird face, a weird look for no reason, but now I know. Honestly, now that you said this, I am honestly scared that what if I do it too? What if I make these faces when I'm drawing and I just don't know about it? Because I've never thought about it and never tried actually paying attention to the faces I make while drawing. So I don't know. I never draw in public, so that's positive. And that's everything. If you guys want to send in a confession, be sure to write me up on the Amino. I'll put a link down in the comments. And that's where you can send in your confessions. You just have to send me a little note on there, and I will make sure your name is not visible so no one knows who you are when you send in your confession, because a lot of people probably get angry about some of these confessions. So that's why I don't say anyone's names. But this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this. And this picture you see here is for actually something I'm selling up on my Amino, which is 30% off for a couple more days. So be sure to go check it out, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to be drawing more of your OCs. Oh, and happy Mother's Day. I hope any mothers watching this are having a great day, and it's always exciting to do things with your mother on this day and stuff like that, so I'm super hyped about that. But anyways, this drawing here is actually a commission from Myra, I think it's Myra Marty. I keep pronouncing it wrong, I'm so sorry, but they've commissioned me so many times. I thank you so much for all the support. If any of you guys want to support me by commissions, the link is down in the description, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Though this commission was of a building, and oh my goodness, I don't draw houses or any sort of structures like that. Very rarely do I ever draw things like that. So this was a challenge, to say the least, but I had so much fun with it, and I tried my best. So I'm really glad that they liked it. And oh my goodness, I cannot even begin to explain how troubled I was. The biggest thing was when I was drawing their house, I was trying to figure out how to do all the line work, because most of it's all straight lines because it's a house. And I also wasn't very good at making something like a actual structure at an angle.
So I tried to make it from the front, but it also looks slightly angled, so I hope it looks okay. It doesn't look too wonky, because like I said, I don't do this very often, but it was needed. I really need to practice more with structures and backgrounds. I feel like I really slack with that. I mean, I really do. I can't remember the last time I actually drew a big detailed background. I drew backgrounds way more back when I first started drawing, even though of course they weren't very good, but I tried anyway, and I feel like trying is how you learn, and I never try, so I'm never actually moving forward with this. But I do appreciate you wanting to commission me for a background. You had so much faith in me for something I don't draw a lot of, so I was really happy that they liked it. Though, like I said, it was a struggle. There was actually they told me why they wanted this and all that, but I don't know the entire story behind it, so I'm kind of scared to tell you guys what it is, because I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up. But if I mess it up, Myra, please do let us know. It was something like their original house, I think, burnt down, which is so sad, and they ended up building a new house, and this is the new house, and that was what this picture was for, and they wanted that to represent how happy they were with the new one and all that, and make it positive and nice. And I thought that was really sweet and really nice, and that's why I was super excited to draw this. But it was something out of my comfort zone, and that's what I love. I love going out of my comfort zone with drawings. You probably noticed. That's why I do OCs, is I like doing things I'm not expected to normally do. But if I was up to myself, I'd probably just draw the same thing in the same pose every single time. And that's what's scary when you become an artist, is you kind of get stuck in a rut and you don't want to try anything new. Like, people don't want to try different genders, people don't want to try different body shapes, because they're like, well, I know how to draw this one and I don't want to draw these others. And that's usually what happens, and it happens to me too. Next up here is Phoenix on Amino, and this OC is absolutely adorable. I think they're so cute. I love their little space hoodie. That was so adorable, popped out to me right away. And I noticed at first I started with their hair being a brown dark, like their hair on top was, where it has that brown streak, but it kind of got way brighter at the end, but you'll see, and it no longer really looks as brown as theirs does. This OC's name is Amelia Cassidy, and they're 30 years old. That's what it says here. As of 2019, they're an introvert, 6 feet tall. Wow, they're a lot taller than I thought they were. And they're 30 years old. I think I made them look a little too cute. I did read this beforehand, but I wanted to make them look cute because they had that chibi little picture. And I was like, oh, they must look very young and cute. I didn't want to change it too much off the original, even though the original style was more of a chibi, which is probably why they look so young. So I don't know what I should have done there, but that's what I went for. And they have a pet fox named Sahara. That's cute. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything else about the character, but I adored this character so much. I made the hair, I think, a little too long. I was judging based on the chibi's proportions, where the hair comes down to the back, pretty much, like the middle of her back. Not like the waist, but a little up. And that's what I was going for. I think I made it a little too long, but I was trying to make it the proper length. And every time I start shading things, I start with the base color. That is the base color of their drawing, but I need to always consider that the base color isn't what it's going to end as, because I always shade. So I need to make the base color really bright and make the shading color the proper color. But I always forget to do that, and the colors always come out very different from the original, and I hope you don't mind. But I also noticed they had these really cute blush and freckles, and I always draw freckles on characters. I have so much trouble with that whenever I'm making up a character or something. I have so much trouble not adding freckles. I don't know why that is. I mean, I was drawing a mermaid the other day and added freckles to them, and I'm like, wait a second. They were a mermaid. They don't even get much sunlight. Freckles always come out in the sunlight. And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense, but they got freckles. I don't know. I mean, I just think they're cute, so I always add them to everything. Probably even if it doesn't make sense. But with that hoodie there, again, the colors I use are a little pale, actually, compared to the original. I don't know if it changes. I don't remember. But I try to make colors that, when I'm on my tablet, everything looks way more vibrant than it does on my computer. So I have to keep switching between to figure out what the colors actually are. And I still don't know. By the time I end, I put it over to my phone, and the colors are completely different than what I see on my computer. So I'm confused as to what colors are the actual colors when drawing digitally. That's the most annoying thing. Like, when you draw digitally, you can't tell what the colors are, and it's so obnoxious. But I tried my best. Next up here is Hidden Corners on Amino. They purchased this with their sparkles they saved up on my little Amino fan club. So if you guys want to save up to get a drawing, you could do it there. And right now you're probably questioning, this is not an OC. Why are you drawing this? Yes, it's not an OC. They purchased a drawing with their sparkles they saved up on my Amino, and they wanted me to draw this character, which is 707 from, or I'm not sure if it's 707 or 707 from Mystic Messenger, which I have never played. Everyone keeps telling me to play, but I have not. And they told me to draw this character, and I was like, you know what? That's fine. Even if it's not an OC, I'll go with it. I just draw it in my style and see how it goes, which was very strange. I rarely do this. I honestly should have make a different video for drawing actual characters if there's someone like this, which is kind of popular, but I put it into an OC's video, even though it's technically not an OC, but you guys will let me know what you think. But they requested it, so I had nothing against it. I mean, it's kind of cool, and they wanted to add these black wings and a black halo, even though the halo looks a little wonky. I tried my best. Oh my gosh. But his hair color was very confusing. I looked at his hair color in this photo you see on the right there, and it looks red. Then you look at another color online if you Google him, and it comes up very orange. And then you look at another, and it comes up almost yellow. And I'm like, what is his hair color? So I assumed it was more of a red, and yellow was what it looked like more in sunlight based on the photos. So I tried to go for an in-between, and it just got a little too vibrant and not as red as I probably should have gone. But, you know, all the photos are so different. It looks very orange in my photo and looks more red in the right one. But I don't know, his hair looks very different at different lighting. So let's just say he's in light and just pretend I did it properly, even though I really didn't. Also, they said they wanted black wings and a halo, but I went with these small little stylized wings because I thought they looked super cute. And I know cute probably wasn't the first thing they were thinking of when they wanted me to add wings, but I thought it looked great. And maybe I should have gone with bigger wings because that's probably what they intended, but I don't know. I went with whatever I thought worked, and since they're asking me to draw in my style, I guess I should just do whatever works for me, unless it's a commission. Because when it's commissions, I always send you guys sketches because I want to make sure you guys are happy with it before I continue. But when it's these sparkle commissions, which are you guys saved up your sparkles to get them, I kind of just do things in my style, however I see fit, so that I don't get super burnt out on the whole free sparkle commission thing, because those are indeed free things, and I gotta make sure I don't overwork myself. But that was fun, even though it wasn't an OC. That was really fun to try and figure out how to do that. And that's everything. If you guys want one of your OCs drawn, just make sure to leave a comment with the link to your OC. Or you can also post on Instagram or Amino or DeviantArt and use hashtag #FlyingPings. Or there's also lots of places on Amino to save up and earn sparkles, and then you can purchase one guaranteed of your OC. So that's fun. So check that out. I'll put a link down in the comments. And that's pretty much everything. I've realized the background looks actually like a background because I drew a house this time. That never happens. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Brother Isaac. Say hello.
Hi.
And we're going to actually be trying to draw blindfolded, which I was wanting to try this before on the channel, but for some reason I don't think I did. Did I?
Did you?
I don't think I ever did do a blindfolded video, but I wanted to.
You did a blindfolded typing.
Well, yeah, typing. Oh wait, that's it was typing. It was typing. It wasn't actually drawing. So we're going to be trying to draw things blindfolded. I actually made it so that he couldn't see the results of his own drawings.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He drew his pictures by looking at a picture I drew a while ago, and then tried to draw it blindfolded. But then before he took the blindfold off, I made sure he couldn't see them, so he has no idea what his results were until just now, and I didn't let him see mine either. So it's going to be interesting to figure out who did worse. So make sure you comment and let me know who
I'm
you
not
thought
ready
did worse.
because I know mine were so bad. I don't think they're recognizable.
Yeah, wait, you guys should try this too. So you guys should honestly try drawing these same pictures blindfolded and then post them online so I can see and like tag me. Oh wait, the first one.
Dear.
Okay, this one was this little draft guy I drew ages ago.
It should have been easier than it was.
Yeah, he doesn't look that hard to remember, but the thing is I drew him, so I probably remember him a little bit better than someone who's never seen him before. So it's
nothing.
Okay,
Nothing
here's
about
Isaac.
it.
Here's
There I go. Whoa!
Okay, wait.
Already the sizes
Wait.
are way. No!
Oh, that's his head. That's his
I
head.
drew right through his eyes.
Oh, yeah, you also have his mouth. Is that his mouth, the circle below the eyes?
Oh
It's
my
rather large.
gosh.
Okay, wait. His
No!
neck. His neck. His
No!
neck.
I can't remember the proportions.
Wait, you forgot the other side of his neck.
Yeah, no, why did I make the body so small and the top so big?
Yeah, wait, the top of the head is huge. And then he started going down, and he started forgetting where he was. And
Yeah.
he'd forget and just be like, I give up.
I can't keep the proportions.
Oh my goodness. Mine wasn't any better really, but I did remember like the idea of what I was supposed to add. So that's one thing, but
I want to see if
it's
you
not
keep the
good.
proportion at least a little bit better.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's ears. What's the thing on the top? Oh, okay, he's curvy. He's curvy.
Curvy.
He's really curvy. Oh, his neck is not
Dang.
attached. Oh, those are some good feet. I think his
I don't know what's happening.
Okay, look, I'm drawing his ears a second time.
Why
I
are you doing
forgot
that?
I drew his ears.
Now you're putting the eyes out of his face.
Oh.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
We both
Are
didn't
terrible?
know what we're doing.
Okay, look, I don't understand how I could possibly think the balloons would match when I didn't even hook them together. I don't even get it. But, okay.
I still think
oh my
mine's gonna be
goodness.
worse. This is the one where
This
I
is-
forgot how to put the branch in and all
Yeah,
that.
it's probably the easiest one. The thing is that when he was doing it, I had to like try and like tell him what he was missing. Not like entirely, but I would just like laugh and he'd get the idea.
Did I not try to add in an extra bird last second because I thought that was part of the photo?
I don't remember. Wait, let's see.
I thought an extra bird was part of this photo.
Let's see.
I
Okay,
think.
you draw a little guy. You see, so far it's so good.
Okay.
Never mind. He lost
Oh.
some weight. He went on a diet. He went on a diet. Now he's a little thin guy.
And I started forgetting what I was doing here.
But yeah, now he's just like sitting there, like I don't know.
Okay, the branch.
Okay,
the branch was okay.
See, that's pretty good.
But oh god.
That's not bad. You can tell what's happening. That's the point.
Yeah, but how do you say that's a bird? I didn't.
No, if I saw that picture, I
didn't-
would tell
Oh,
you.
here's the other bird.
What is that?
That's the other bird.